I have some sad news to share with you. Ready? I quit as a business loan broker. I'm done. I've had it. I can't help out anymore. Do this for another millisecond, another second, minute, hour, years, and time. And here is the reason or reasons why. Hi, this is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions. I'm a business loan broker expert, which is another way of saying that I'm able to bridge you with the best lenders and underwriters. I've vetted the best with fintech companies, alternative private lenders, private investors, not traditional bank loans, which I can help with as well in other regards. But why have I decided to quit? Now, what I'm saying is I'm speaking futuristically. Yes, I have not yet decided to put my boots up. But I will share with what would happen and why I would 100% leave this industry. The reason why I would leave this industry is because of people. Yes, it could be you, it could be someone else. Hear me out. The same reason I came into this industry to help people, to help through them stimulate the economy, to make the world a better place, to help them help others achieve their goals and much more, is the same reason why I would leave. But why is that? The major cause of concern for me as an expert, this is somebody who does this every single day. The reason why I would leave is because people are too unpredictable. What I mean is, too many times I get tire kickers, no effort, lazy people, pretenders, who then can convert into action takers. But too many times I've seen in this space where people say something and they do another. Yes, I'm interested. I get an email. Or in another way, I do my due diligence. I follow back. No pressure, nothing. And what do I get in return? Nothing. Or if something, very little. And if and when, it takes forever. So while I said earlier that no, at this moment I have not decided to quit, that could be something in the future speaking towards that. And the reason why I would leave is because of you guys. There may be one of you in here who's a bad egg, and I mean that not as in a bad person, I mean that as in who am I working with, one. But once we go through the application process, who will they be? Will they still be that person who's arrogant, cocky, stubborn, egotistical? Or will I get the person who is that, but they leave it out the door so they don't affect us through the application, the underwriting? Myself and my internal team, you worked this up. We had to age 20, 30 years through the process just to get it done. And even if it didn't get done, this is what ended up happening. Not the best use of my energy and time. And I'm very punctual and disciplined, very respectful, humble. You could say my character or my personality doesn't meet the standards of this industry, as in helping people get money. I have other businesses that I run, and those do fit my personality better as an introvert. I run a digital marketing agency. I've done lead generation for a lot of businesses. I have affiliate marketing businesses in the health related space, as well as sharing with people different software that they can use because I've used it. Other ventures as well. And in this industry as well. So let's go back to this. I'll go to the comments if anybody has anything, but I'll get going shortly. The same reason I got into this is the same reason I will get out. Who would have thought of that? And before I get into why should you listen to this person, let me continue forward for the next about 30 seconds or so. So yes, people are too unpredictable. And I might even read a post for you that I did to an audience of brokers who are learning underneath me, other agents. And I'm up here, guys, and I don't say that to sound cocky or to be that way. I say that as in I'm confident and certain in what I do and within my results. So let me find this post. But ideally, and I'll go over 30 seconds. Ideally, it's because of people who just mess about. You can't really ever tell if they're that serious. They say something, they don't commit, or when they commit, they only partially. I'm awaiting their feedback via an email. I don't want to have to give you a call. I'm sure you don't want that, or sometimes you do, but it doesn't need to lead to that in some cases. You made it more harder or more strenuous. You made it more than it had to be. And here it is. The number one thing that you can't control that is so unpredictable, try not to let this drag you down. Hi guys, Michael here. I usually try to keep these things to myself, but I wanted you to know the number one thing you can't control is people. What do I mean? I've had a heck of a week with a lot of twists and turns so far. It's crazy in caps locks. Many clients will be loyal and many others are not. They make you believe they are, their word is not their bond, and more. Pretty much they leave you to dry. I could be the best at this. You may know me as a person. You may know my why I'm doing this, and I'll get into that shortly. You might know my why as in why my business. But do you really? And does that resonate with you? Is that something you look at and go, I can trust that person? And I'm very trustworthy. I'm looking at you guys and I'm wondering if you are trustworthy. You can trust me all day long. I run other businesses, multiple businesses. I look at cash flow. I look at profitability just like you guys do. I look at it probably more than a majority of people do. I keep track of everything. I speak with my different departments, making sure everything is where it needs to be. I know my stuff. As an internet marketer, digital marketer, I know how to get leads all over the place, online, offline, with bank managers, bank relationship managers, accountants, bookkeepers, real estate investors. You guys name them. I'll go to the comments in a second. Many clients, again, will be loyal, and many in caps locks. Others are not. Some of you guys are just playing around. Sickeningly. And I'll get into that in a minute. They make you believe they are. Their word is not their bond. I hate that. There's no room in this world for people who say something and do another. You have to be disciplined, guys. That's what you guys lack a lot of. You guys are business owners, but do you have true discipline? That's my question. Do you show up every day with the right intentions, and do you deliver? Now, how do you deliver is another question. Are you wasting energy and time? Are you taking care of your health, your relationships? Those things matter. Your mind. Are you building this to be even stronger? And all it takes is one thought to shatter things. And I might go into a story in a little bit about these. Focus on what you can control. Help as many people as you can and clarify and break down beliefs, misconceptions, misunderstandings. Build your personal and business brand, which I've built. Thank you guys. Appreciate you for that. Truly. I've been working hard day in and day out. Find somebody on YouTube who does similar things. Yeah, because they're sponsored, they get millions of views or however much. But do they really know their stuff as a true expert in the space, or are they just telling you to go click a link? Do they just give you surface level information, or do they really go deep? Those that will do, but others, you gotta be careful, etc. But once the ball is in the person's court, once I've been able to take the person to the swimming pool, to the lake, to the river, to the ocean, will they decide to put their 2 feet in, 1 foot out first, and then they go full? Do they partially, fully commit? Will they sit out next to the sand, soak up the sun, go for a deep swim? What is your true intention, and where does it lie? But once the ball is in the person's court, it's a similar thing that you could take a horse to the water, but will they drink it, or what would they do? You only hope they make the right decision. I won't go deep, but a person's character tends to get in their own way and influences their decision. Their decision may be influenced by external and internal reasons. What they see and perceive to believe may be true or false. So what you're thinking is, it's all about business. It's all about me. Well, for one, let me ask you, do you put yourself in my shoes? And even if you're thinking it, don't ask yourself, well, yeah, maybe maybe, maybe not. You should be yes or no. Shouldn't be as, well, no, not kind of, it's yes or no on that. So what I mean by this too is character versus reputation. You let your own self, your own personality traits, characteristic traits, those are what hinder your success. Maybe you don't listen well. Maybe you speak more than what you listen. And I'm an introvert, so I listen more than anything. I even let you say everything. I pause even for a second or two so I can soak it all in and then give you a response. But how many of you actually have that character that I'm looking for, where we're going to leave it out the door, whether you're stubborn or not and you really needed my help? Will I take you on as a client? That's another question. Will you cause me problems and my team? Will you have all these demands that they can't be met? We've cleared this up. Now you're coming back to this. What I'm speaking about, Reyes, is it's a bit different content today. It's about why I would quit as a business loan broker. I'm giving you guys the realities of what I deal with. And I'm a very energy and time efficient person, I'm sure you are as well, as a realtor. And you understand. So, continuing with this, I've had many people take money from other sources when they shouldn't have, whether they knew what they were doing or not. And I show them what to be careful of and not to do, the advantages of here and elsewhere, etc. So I've had cases where, let's go back to character. Character influences a lot of your decisions. Whatever your beliefs are, whatever your values are, that's what I want to know. Transportation industry, age, these are the demographics. I want to know what your true intentions, your true beliefs, your true values are. That gets me to know who you are as a person and how you carry yourself. Because who you are in your business is a self-reflection of who you are as a person. Tell me otherwise. Every other aspect in your life, when you detach yourself from your business, who are you? How do you act? What do you do? Why do you act the way you do? And so those also get in the way when I'm trying to help someone. Whether you realize that or not, or you think so or not, it's the truth. And so I've become sick and tired, if you put yourself in my position, of people who, like just the other day, I sent somebody a Facebook Messenger and they hadn't responded back in like 4 months. They really didn't even do anything. Like they were telling me on text message, hey, I'm going to send you the documents. And they went cold for like 4 or 5 months, guys. Like that is being unaccountable. That's irresponsible. Should I assume that you weren't interested? Or I can't just assume. Just say, hey, Michael, right now I'm not interested. And we had great communication before. What happened? And there's people who I grow a strong personal and business relationship with to a point. I can't trust people easily. You might be the same. You have to peel me back a layer at a time. The same layer you got to peel back like 4 times. You really got to get in there and like claw back. But once you get to know me, you know me. And I'll open up, and I've done that before. And I'll go into my why in a moment. But those are the little things right there, guys, that you may not see it, but it shows. And it tells me a lot about who you are. When I'm speaking with my lenders, my association, with my internal team, my underwriters, and I do, from time to time, it's email. I tell them, I'm not going to spend your energy and time, so I'm going to make this as easy. I'm going to be the easiest person you've ever had to work with. Because I'm an introvert, one, but because I know how to communicate well. And sometimes because I speak 2 languages, Spanish and English, predominantly English, and I sometimes forget Spanish words, but I'm fluent, I can do it all. I said, I'm going to make your life easy. And if I ever get on a call, you know it's important. You know that I couldn't give it all in an email, or I couldn't have done it that way, or it was something I needed to know quick. Let's do this underneath a minute. Boom. They get out of that call like no other. They're like, wow, that made my life easy. And it's true. And when I email somebody, they see my email come through, the lenders, the underwriters, go, that's Michael. They know me on a personal and business level. But when I'm doing one thing here, one thing there, that's how it needs to get done. Michael sent me an email, he sent me a text. I'm not interested, I'll let him know right now. I have a change of plans in business, but I will come back to him if he's interested then. No worries, sounds great. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Sally. No, pero estos, and I say para estos, I mean these people, are more like, where do they go? Somebody who wanted an offer the other day. Yes, I'm going to get an offer. I'm going to say something to her here soon. We had to close down her offer. I emailed her after that, telling her, like, this is what happened. Still no email response. Phone call, couple of rings, goes right to their business voicemail. Like, why are you going to start an application? There was only one time I was able to get about a less than a minute phone call with her, just reminding her, that's it. I didn't want to even do that. I even told her, look, and I said her name, I didn't mean to give you a call, but I didn't say you forced me to, but you forced me to. And I'm not chasing people. So if you're that person who's like that, please don't even get started with me. I'm not the right person for you. Go to somebody else who will overpromise, underdeliver, or even if they don't, do they really know their stuff? Too many times you get away with it too easily. What else do you get away with in your life? What else have you done? Like I said, I've had many people take money from other sources, and that's going to go into a story in a moment. And I show them what to be careful of, not to do this and that. They get bombarded with a whole lot of emails from other providers, lenders, etc. At any second, it can go in any direction. Boom, energy and time into what? So what I mean by that, and I'll go into the comments here shortly. I'm a business loan broker. And so what I mean, and here's a person that I was speaking to yesterday, opened up my email. I have software that shows me when you guys open up email. So he's going to likely send me his personal tax returns like I had asked him to. So that's our part of our communication. That's our next step. Know this, that, and this. He sent me some things that I didn't need. I verified it. Okay, but we need the personal tax returns for what we're doing. So that should be our next point of communication. We shouldn't have to go backwards. And so what I mean by this is you may be already getting bombarded. Tell me in the comment section. Are you getting organizations, lenders, maybe brokers or agents who are sending you emails? Hey, come sign the contracts. Hey, come start an application. I'm going to give you guys a story right now why this is very important, what you guys should be avoiding. So at any second, it can go in any direction. Boom, energy and time into what that I put in. And then they betrayed the loyalty was gone. What was there, what isn't there anymore. I've had a client who recently, we gave them $200,000 for her restaurant. And I also got to meet her and know her through a relationship with my real estate investor friend who connected us. And I spoke with my real estate investor friend who's at the top of what he does. And she took $200,000 and then came back, needed more funding. And at that point, we thought we were going to give her a second position funding. Turns out she already had one. We got her about $93,000. She needed $150,000. We got her about $93,000, excuse me. We found out she just took another offer recently. We dropped down to $93,000 to $15,000. And my friend, he was upset. He's like, no more am I ever working with her again. This is the last time, Michael. Because that is energy and time inefficient. That's like backstabbing. That's being unloyal to someone who helped you in the beginning and you know that they can do the best, yet you had somebody send you an email about an offer and they needed it or they just took it because they were given an offer. It doesn't mean you take it. You consult, you come back and you ask, because what I can do myself with my team is more effective than just saying, hey, somebody sent me an email and I'm going to respond back to that offer, whether you needed it bad or not. Perhaps you didn't. But that was not the way to handle it. This is why you have to make sure, especially when it comes to the advanced products, that you are not solely working with shady people, hard-headed, stubbornness ones, etc. And you can, that's fine. I've done that. I won't necessarily knock somebody down and say I won't want to, but there's a point where I go, this is not, go ahead, do something else, please, because you're just causing me problems that shouldn't have been happening. But if you focus on a specific psychographic of people, those with loyalty, discipline, punctuality, the right beliefs, values, aspirations, energy and time management, entrepreneurs, etc., you'll have a better recipe for success. Otherwise, you'll be kicking yourself in the foot, wasting energy and time galore. I've always said this to myself. It's not my leads, it's not the communication, my systems, my processes, the automation that is the issue, etc. The same reason why I came into this industry, which is to help people and continue the vision, is the same reason I will leave it, because of people, certain ones. It's not because of the money. It's not related to that or anything else, really. but because the impact of the person on the other side you're trying to help get funding for just sabotages themselves, just creates a lot of energy and time inefficiency, and it's way too unpredictable. Even if you know who I am, it even happens to me when people know who I am as a person, who know what I stand for, what my business stands for, and they still will just venture off somewhere else and think that's what's in their best interest when it normally isn't. So it's too unpredictable, but you have to move on to the next one. And at a point, even when you keep doing that, you have to ask yourself if that's even enough. Is it even worth just to keep saying it's time to move on, especially if it happens over and over? And then I ask them, what is your thoughts on the matter? Talk soon, my signature. So let me go to the comments now. Appreciate you saying that. Yeah, and it's one thing. I'm not saying you're not. And you're saying you're trustworthy. It's something that I have to see as well. I mean, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you've done a lot. I'm not saying you're not again. But if we were working in a setting where it's not even about business, it's about who you are, why you, and I won't be interviewing you specifically, but that's when I really get to understand. And trustworthy is more than just what we spoke about. It's more about the actions you take and does it show for. If you say I'm going to commit to this, starting the application, the documentation, or I'm going to commit to this other thing in my life, or then I'm going to commit to this offer, whatever it is, don't say it, just do it. But too many times people get away too easily with saying, well, I'm this, I'm that, and then you find out that they weren't. And all they had to take was just a simple message back to me. Just said, Michael, no thanks, I'm not interested right now. Okay. But people, they don't want to do that because they feel like I'm going to pressure them. I don't do that. The reason why is you're fearful. You don't really understand how to use your funds. You just don't have maybe that, if not that, there's other things. Like it's deep rooted in our beliefs internally that we think it should be done a certain way, but I'm going to help that. It's misconstrued. I'm going to help you. And it could be a lack of financial depth. Like you don't understand your own money, what's coming in, what's going out, cash flow, profits, revenue. How well do you understand how to grow your money? How well do you understand how to prepare for any cash flow discrepancies, excuse me. There's so many more things at play that human nature then takes over, and we lead with our emotions instead of leading with proper logic. So when we know our finances, we know our operations, we know our product, our development, product market fit, all of these things, when we understand who we are and we understand, we look at ourselves and go, I need to change. Or the reason why this was messed up is because of me. Not me anymore. Not me on this side. I'm usually asking it of your side. On this side, I worked on myself hard enough. I shouldn't have to deal with babying people around. None of that. You never get me or my friends approved, man. Send me an email if you're still in here. I will look over things, but just because you don't get approved doesn't mean none of this will end up working. So a lot of people, they like to take shortcuts. I'm not saying you are, but people, they do, and they don't optimize their personal and business credit or any other form of their business. They don't even take the time to do that. They just want money thrown at them. Well, I'm generating $20,000 a month. I should get $100,000 in a business loan or an advance. It's okay if you don't know. I'll educate you, but just have an open mind. Allow for feedback. Be patient. Not everybody's getting approved. Sure, if you have decent credit, fair credit, can you go get business credit cards, personal? Go ahead and do that. 401k, IRA, home equity loans, home equity lines of credit, or any other form. There's some other ones that you can do. But until you have a fully optimized personal credit profile, which is the very least that you guys should be working on, nobody here should be complaining why they can't get approved. Now, if you have revenue, so there's the three: cash flow, revenue-based financing, credit, collateral. Some of you guys, this goes over your guys' head. You'll hear it today and do nothing about it. Or you don't need to. You're like, Michael, I'm like you. I already got my stuff together. Great. I applaud you. But for those of you in here who still need to work, what are you doing? I can't tell you guys how many times people come back to me and I ask them, what did you do different? What's improved? I just need 30,000. Okay, you're over leveraged. Do you not understand that? What I told you 3-4 months ago, you haven't done a single thing about. What's it gonna take? What kind of pain? What kind of problem do you have to endure that is so bad that you have to make a drastic change? If we have to dig through that, we will. Because like I said again, I'm an entrepreneur / business owner. I ask questions. I ask questions of what you could be asking. So I make sure I answer those. And I know my stuff. I worked in the real estate industry. I worked in the business loan industry. All of them. And it's the same thing over and over. The recurring pattern is what? The person getting in their own way. It's always the person getting in their own way. They're sabotaging themselves. It's too unpredictable. I have people right now who, hey Michael, I'm getting the personal financial statement, BS statement. I'll send it over to you. It's been what, 6-7 months, and I check in with someone, they haven't responded back like this. Hey, I'm still working on it, but where's the response? Where's the courtesy? Where is the sincerity? Where's the cajones to say, Michael, no thanks, I'm not interested anymore? They don't have them. And so when you really dig into someone, you get to know who they really are, if they really are serious. If you were my broker, if you were my real estate agent, my younger brother is in the real estate field. He's a real estate agent. If you were mine, I'm going to ask you a lot of things. I'm not going to be your normal client. Now, I won't speak a lot, but I can just see you from observing you. As an introvert, these abilities that I've built over many years, I'm able to tell who is who and who resonates with me. I'm going to ask them about them. I'm not going to ask you about your company. I want to know about you. Answer these 2 to 3 questions for me. That may be sufficient enough. If I have to dig deeper, I'll dig deeper. But why you too in your business? I won't ever interview you. I won't pressure you, but these are things that are going to be like head turners. Nobody's ever asked me that. And then when we get into the numbers, and if it makes sense, what do we do then? I am not. I'm a business loan broker. It's just another way of saying that I'm able to connect you with the best lenders and underwriters. I can review documentation. I look at it from an underwriter's point of view, and I know what they want. Sincerely, I have the best in this industry, the best lenders, the best internal team, bar none. And that was the story that I said earlier, where we got a lady a second position of about $95,000. But she went and broke the chain of loyalty with myself and my real estate investor friend. So about 18 to 20 years of a relationship with her, that my real estate investor friend, he connected us, shattered, just broke. Because she decided to venture off and backstab and do things her way. She decided, well, I needed more money, whether she did or not. She went ahead and said, well, probably I got an email from this company. I won't say the lender. Shouldn't have done that at all. That was not a good decision. They did it anyways. They could have just came back to me, Michael, I need more. Can you get this done? And we missed it by about a week. If that never would have transpired, this would have been even more than a 93. Probably would have been $100,000 to $110,000 amount for a second position. That is most rare when she got $200,000 at the end of December. But because of who I know, not always what I know, and I know a lot, but who, oh, that's Michael. And this specific lender we were giving her would have never have done that for anybody else. But they wanted to build that relationship. I put my reputation, my internal team reputation, them coming back to me, what happened? They knew. We uncovered this. It wasn't my fault. It was the other person's fault. See, like I said again, too many people are unpredictable. You could have a personal relationship with me. You could be my friend. You could be my family member. They could even do the same. I don't want Michael to earn this. It's not about the money to me. It's about the value. Who do you go to? Who do you turn to when you need an education on this? Go find information like this on YouTube. Usually it's somebody who's being sponsored. They give you surface level information. You see a million views, but they have to be doing something right. I'm not saying they're not. But when it comes to business funding in totality, personal credit, business credit, term loans, lines of credit, business loans, alternative financing, even bank-related SBA, business credit cards, personal credit cards, and so forth. Appreciate you. Thank you, Kamal. Just so you know, and everybody else in here, I don't spend too much time on TikTok these days. They've kind of degraded my, I'm not going to say my content, but I produce short form stuff that isn't the most educational on this platform. It goes deeper onto my channel and onto my blog. I blog a lot. I love to write. I do video only because I know it helps. And I know I bring the value, but I prefer, like, once I'm done here, I'm going to go and do a few things on my Google Search Console and add a few keywords to my blog posts and do the body of a post that I'm putting together. And then I'm going to get back into submitting questionnaire responses. I'm going to be catching up today. But yes, and if you guys need to email me, please do so. It is my first name, Michael, at viral, something going viral, fundingsolutions.com. And that's an S at the end of solutions. I'm the most loyal person you will meet. And I'm sure you are too, Kamal. I know who I work with, who is and who isn't. I could tell like that. And it's not about always an ethnicity or a background thing, but I know if that's something that comes into play, I've seen a recurring pattern with that. And you're going to get the best out of me. I spoke with two gentlemen the other day. It is my first name, Michael, Micha, A as in Adam, E as in Edwin, L, at something going viral, funding, without an S, and then solutions with an S at the end, .com. So Michael at viralfundingsolutions.com. And you can say, hey, this is Kamal from TikTok. I'll remember, even if you just said your name. But I'll send you a response back on a questionnaire likely that I'll want you to submit for whether it's real estate financing, it is business funding financing, whatever that may be. But I'm going to try to put the couple of them, if not one, and then it'll take you to my page where you'll select one of the two options that apply to you and then fill out a simple questionnaire. Once that gets submitted, I evaluate, analyze, and give you a proper response back via email. No fluff, no theory, none of this crap that other people are just trying to send you emails just to go sign an application or start an application. I'm going to show you what's worth it. Not every personal funding program, not every business funding program, lender, organization is created equal. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that, not you per se, but too many times people don't get it. And they still go and apply to an on-deck. They still go apply to a Calamita. They still go and apply to a whatever it is, Capwell. There's so many of these that I'm already associated and I have those direct lender partnerships. But it's better to do it indirectly in a brokerage setup where there's more flexibility with my internal team. Everybody's been vetted and the best. I've worked with many others and I know what's best. We usually compete and beat most offers. And we even have a meet and beat $500 gift card. So if we can't beat your current offer and you show us that there is an offer on the table that you haven't taken, you haven't signed the contracts yet on, Michael, I got a $50,000 amount. I'm really looking for $100,000, but we got to bridge the gap and be realistic. Can we even do 100? Maybe we can do more than 50,000, maybe 80,000 if we could. Would that be of work? Would that be something that you can use? Would it help you double, triple, quadruple your income? Because I'm not in here to help your income go backwards. If it has to take a temporary setback, you do. Especially truckers right now who are having it the hardest. They do have to take a temporary setback to take money that isn't as attractive to them, but it is what they need and it is what it is. And then they go, okay, the rest of it, I'm going to use it for fueling my growth and expansion. I got to use it for fixes. I have to use it for certain expenses, for payroll. But once I'm done with this in about 3 weeks, I'll have the same funds. I'm going to use them for equipment purchases. I'm going to use them for more fuel costs. I'm going to use them to be more efficient. That's how you think. You don't go, well, I can't take one of these loan shark loans. I can't take one of these merchant cash advances. Well, there's a derivative now. There's a hybrid cash advance. So it's not just credit card statements we're collecting. There's encompassing all revenue going into the business on the revenue-based side. So we look at all deposits, everything going into the account. So for those of you in here who are true business owners, entrepreneurs, we know this stuff. But does the general public consensus know it? Not very many. What you're fixated on is getting a 30-year home mortgage type of term. But this isn't a home mortgage. This isn't an SBA EIDL loan up to 30 years, 3.75 or 2.75% interest. This is alternative financing that can be non-collateralized, could be collateralized. Non-collateralized with the signature. You're personally guaranteeing. Well, I don't want a PG. All of those of you who I see typing in on YouTube, and I've made content for this just to see how you guys would think. No credit check, business loan, no personal guarantee, no documentation, business loan with 0% interest, but I want $250,000. Nice. Go to Navy Federal. Go get yourself a no-doc loan if you can. Or what you do is you get 0% interest business credit cards for 6 to 18 months. That's a true no-doc program. Now, if you have a current business, would it benefit you to show them? Yes. It can help maximize the amount you would get too, what you can handle, what you've done perhaps already on your business side. Good question. And I do apologize. I mean, I shouldn't have to for that, but it goes without being said. I will get to the comments. What is the minimum credit score? Depending on the service, it's a broad question. So I'll give you a broad answer without getting into each and every service. But you can get in with as little as a 450 plus FICO Experian credit score. You look at one of the credit bureaus for certain services. Depends on what service we're looking at, two to three, or three of the three. 500. If it's a 550, that's because you're generating less revenue per month, and that's what the lender would associate it with. So it just depends. But 450 and above, shoot for 500, but realistically 550 and above. That's what I would say. In this market, of course, you're going to get bad terms, bad interest, bad factor rates when you have less than 600 credit. The revenue, the time in business, even if that was all fine, but the credit score alone, why do people complain when they get 4 to 6 months? Well, don't complain and go fix your credit. They do that. Well, they don't do it like that, but you guys get me. It's kind of weird. But fix the things you need to fix. Stop masking the symptoms, guys. I'll do it later. See, a lot of you like instant gratification. I've delayed it for a long time. I was like you guys, where I did not delay instant gratification. IG, and not IG for Instagram. You guys got to delay that too. I know those of you who are on your TikTok watching some phony stuff on there and just consuming instead of go out and produce. Who in here is producing? Who in here is consuming? I know how many of you would raise your hand immediately, or wouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to be that person at work. Just raise your hand up with confidence. Not bashing anybody, but produce, guys. Stop consuming. Last night I was doing a few things on a Friday night. I made a quick video that I'll be releasing on YouTube about a business line of credit and the realities of it. And that video was made around 11:30 to 12. Yeah, I had things going on, but I was also motivated. And I didn't have to take time out of my Friday to do that. I said I'm not doing anything, but something came over me and I said I needed to create this. I needed to make this right away. I couldn't wait another day. I had to create it. It was the right time for it. It's been on my mind. How many of you are actually going to do the work that it takes to just get into an application and realize that what you're getting involved with by just going directly to Ananda, going directly to Kalamata, going to this, and then you find out that they decline you or they don't give you enough. Usually you don't get the best too if you don't have that in the door with myself and my team. Now, if we looked at your file, are you even an A file? Are you even a B tier, C tier? You're a C tier applying for an A tier lender? Give me a break. Who's telling you to go and do that? Well, On Deck is one if I'm an A-tier lender. Okay. Yeah, but we also have another 2 A-tier lenders in your industry who are better. Well, we won't know until we see. We entertained this one, but then we wanted to pull from this one. And then that one we pulled from worked. We did much better amounts, terms, rates, early payment discounts, flexibility. But with you guys not knowing those, it can make it kind of hard. Nice. Yeah, doing it by day. And then your skill set becomes stronger. I like to hear it. Yeah, become a producer, not a consumer. Through the IRS site, David. Exactly. The only thing that gets you tired, and this comes back, and I'm not apologizing. I'm not being apologetic for this. I shouldn't be. You shouldn't be also. But what does get you tired are the people who do end up trying to suck your energy and time up in ways that it's not efficient. They maybe know or maybe don't know that. But when you're working with people, that's why I love doing like the lead generation digital marketing agency stuff, because once you have somebody on a retainer, you have someone for a certain amount of time, for years. Maybe you get another client or you have multiple clients. You're doing lead generation tactics. Those take a lot of skill sets, and I have those. And with those types of services, it's like sometimes, yeah, they're checking in, and that's what they shouldn't be doing that too much, and I lay the foundation on what they should and shouldn't be. But I'm just repeating my patterns, and I'm working, and I'm using a skill set, and this can be automated a lot and being used over time instead of with someone. And that's why, and I'm going to get into an affiliate versus being a business loan broker so you guys really understand this. Oh, really? Nice. Teach them young. And I'm sure they are very happy with what you're doing. And what is your background, by the way, if you don't mind me asking? And that's cool. Lead the next generation, the momentum. Teach them a skill set, because I think you know where I'm going to go with this. There are 3 things you need to learn: build, sell, lead. Now, in the order that it starts, sell first, because in the beginning, you won't really have the foundation to build on a personal and business brand. And in other ways, you're not iterating, you're not system engineering, you're not automating, you're not perfecting your processes. So you have to learn first how to sell. But more importantly, I think, than anything, is marketing. Those are the skill sets that I appreciate more than everything. And I'm not a salesperson. I don't really like to use that word. I went to school academically, by the way. I learned sociology, got into chemical engineering, then transitioned into business administration. I've worked in construction, manufacturing. I worked in different industries in my younger 20s. Financial logistics role, I was underappreciated, undervalued, underpaid. Company turned over, I had to go back on unemployment, benefits, food stamps for a little bit, my younger 20s. And then from there, I started learning how to build a digital marketing agency, affiliate marketing businesses, different ventures / e-commerce affiliate marketing. Oh, do you? Nice. Yeah, I ventured into that space, but I didn't get the actual degree in that. I transferred into business administration. I saw the market for what I wanted to do, and I felt like those were skill sets that would prepare me better. But yeah, I was in the engineering classes, and my favorite class, maybe you can relate, chemical engineering, chemistry. I love chemistry. Love thermodynamics. I love entropy, enthalpy. I love learning the elements, the granular, the elemental. I love learning all that. Did well in my classes. I was usually the guy helping out everybody in there. So I have a great fascination and appreciation in the lab. Did well in those. My teacher and she and I were great. Had a great relationship from student to teacher, and just paying close attention. And when you find an interest, you can turn that into a passion. Go for it. Are you? Nice. Lebanese. Yeah, I have a few friends that are too. And I've helped out people who are the same. A VIP, or VP, excuse me, in manufacturing. Nice. And I've been in manufacturing. I did aerospace. And I didn't do just financial stuff in there. They got me started on the machine as a headerman. I was actually pumping out the tooling from a die. And there was a Vietnam War veteran, I think that he was, and he didn't want to give up his machine. And so when you go into an industry like that in production, it can be very nasty at times. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, whether you've done it yourself or not. You see it. And I know the owner, and I've spoken to them, his son, who's working with us. And then I got moved into the blueprint room, which was more better. I was working on blueprints. I was doing the die. I was looking at the dimensions. I was making sure the tooling was pushing out properly. Later on, I got into financial logistics, and I really put my data mindset, my mathematical and system wired mind to use. And we're working for one of the biggest contracting companies, helping out HP and Peace Health. And I was still having to lift some like heavy media boxes to deliver them, but it wasn't as frequent. But there was a time where it did pick up, and I was questioning it, and I was like, I'm not physically built to do this stuff. But I was working hard on the computer in my cubicle, and the collaboration and more for stability, post-academics, and more when I went back. But yeah. And you're now coaching CEOs and business owners, mindset, and sales. Yes. Awesome. Keep focusing on that. Because I've masterminded, I've done all these things, and I still am. Excuse me. But I'm continuously learning. I'm continuously reading. My favorite book, by the way. I love Atomic Habits. I've read that book probably like 30 times. I'm not even joking, you guys. I'm an old man at my age, at 30 years of age. I'm an old soul at heart. I've just learned a lot of stuff. Been through a lot. But that's good. Mindset is important because that's going to also improve discipline. That'll improve punctuality. That'll improve longevity of a person themselves, but also in their business. Because when I was first in mine, and you probably could relate, you were just trying to do everything and anything. You're probably wearing multiple hats in the business, or you had one sole focus on this, but you didn't know too much about that. Sometimes you felt burnt out. I still get those at times. But I know that with the mindset that you and I have, it's different than the average person. And I'm grateful and fortunate to have built that. Nothing really breaks me down. Honestly, you can say something and it's like, good for you. And so too many people don't realize that what's getting in the way is this, and you know this. Too many times people, and I'm not just speaking about getting a business loan through me or anything. It's in anything in life. But I also see it very evident when people just say something and they do nothing about it. Like somebody texted me or sent me a message the other day. The way I asked something, the way they responded back, you could tell just with the response. Like, it doesn't have to be meat and potatoes, but it's like, that's all you said? You guys ever get left with that? Like, you ask a smart question or you said something right. You didn't expect something too elaborate, but that was it? Like, that's a off kind of answer. If you think about it, that's like a, I don't want to talk to you, or I don't need to talk to you. Like, I'm not even saying anything. I'm just asking you how you're doing. How's your business? I haven't talked to you in 4 months. Long time no talk. That's simple. I didn't ask him, hey, did you want to go start an application or any of that? Nice. Yes, thermodynamics, chemistry. I love those classes. Calculuses, I took them all. You know that. And I love my college days. People will say, don't go to school. That's another topic we're not going to get into. I'm going to go to the comments in a little bit. Let's not talk about why you shouldn't go to school. You and I know the clear answer to that without even being said. The people who are saying you shouldn't go are the people who are probably uneducated. Or they're educated, but maybe their degree or maybe what they did, they can go back in time. What would they change? They'll tell you. It's not just to network. People go to school just to network. Go to school to challenge yourself, for goddamn sake. Go to school to learn a subject that you didn't think you'd be capable of learning. I put myself in different subjects in college. I'm well-rounded, and I focused on certain ones. But certain people are like, I'm not good at calculus. I'm not good at chemistry. Oh my God. And they say like, they think about it, whether they say it or not. But I was that student who I wasn't necessarily the smartest, yeah, you could say, but I actually had to take the time to put the work in to learn the material. I couldn't just show up to a class and just ace. Sometimes depends on the class, but I actually had to do the problems. I actually had to sit down, my homework. I was very punctual, disciplined on doing this. So when I showed up, it was completed, scored high. On my test, did pretty well. I could be the first one out of the class, but I spent more time because I enjoyed reviewing things and not having to always be the first one. It wasn't about that. But certain people out there can't even help themselves. Boom. Some of you guys can't help yourself because you don't think you possess those abilities. You feel like you have to have that ability to help someone else. Completely wrong. There's something that you know more than someone else does. Just because you're not an expert, if you're one chapter ahead of someone, you can help them. But until you learn that more and you experience it for yourself, how will you ever know? Do you guys know how many brokers I've trained? Agents? Who turn out well, but others are just, it's a huge dropout. Why? Consistency, persistency, but not a strong enough why. Why do you want it? Why do you want to do it? What are the internal reasons or reason for doing this? What's the major one? For me, I didn't want to keep my family from thinking that, hey, I'm going to go again on unemployment or this is going to happen again with the job. And I was tired of them holding their part of the end and I wasn't at that time. Not that I was bad or anything. It's just what happens in the way of life. I was tired of depending on someone. I was tired of them doing more. Finally needed to change. Keep preaching it. Appreciate you. Thank you, Kamal. That's the point. Teach, coach others. Show them the framework. This is where we begin. And don't even give them, give them an outcome. But program them to understand that they have to detach themselves from the outcome. Once they see, hey, the money's there, these people, like I'm telling you, I train people on this and they don't, if you're in insurance and in whatever industry you're in, affiliate marketer, if you train people, you see it very clearly where they are and why they just, because they wanted something fast. They weren't willing to do this longer term. You can tell, you can weed those people out. And then those are the people that actually waste your energy. Those are the people that actually suck up a lot of your energy and time. If you notice that, you probably noticed that. Those are the people who take up the most energy and time. In this space, the same. The people who I have people right now who are texting me and I've tried to help her. She doesn't have any really option, like no option. And I'm like, we can't go back down this rabbit hole. I'm not going to do that. Yes. With the power of awareness. And in anything in life, just having that, book or not, but the power of awareness, understanding your guys' surroundings, be very observant. With me, I'm very observant. I'm very introverted, very cerebral. I'm sure you are the same. I'm a very cerebral, keep to myself. That's not a bad thing. But I roar. Like when people listen to me, they need to listen. I don't have to say a lot. I do more than what I say. Watch my actions. Don't always hear what I say or what I say. Watch what I do. Doesn't take a sentence. All it takes is one or two words. And yes, I was that person in the classroom too, who people would listen when I went up and they're thinking I have something good to say, whether I was prepared for it or not. And growing and maturing, becoming more wise. But people get fixated on the person who speaks, who's the extrovert. That's who they attach themselves to. Go for it. Even in relationships, a girl sees a guy who's cut, got the pecs, got the looks, got the hair to do it, it's got the swagger, it's got the words. I don't gotta do none of that. Guess what? I have that they probably don't. The greatest weapon you can have. I didn't say anything. They'll look at me and I didn't say anything. And then when I do ask questions and I dig in, really get to know someone, however much I want to, I don't have to push. You can have the most beautiful people looking in the room. I wouldn't probably select one of them. And in terms of looks, I'm not going for looks. I'm going for what they got up here. You don't have to match me exactly, but where are you? How do you think? How do you process? How are you like in a social setting? I'm not necessarily awkward in a social setting because I can speak well, but doesn't mean I'm going to. But I want to know who you are up here. I don't want to know who you are here. I don't want to know who you are. Cool, if that comes with it, great. But I want to know this. Are you put together? Are you not? Are you going to be causing me energy and time problems? I won't be doing that to you. What can you reciprocate? What can you not? What can she do better than someone else can? No intimidation. I'm not doing. That's not my character. I'm not here to intimidate nobody. That's not who I am. Your LLC app is at the courthouse? Okay. How long will that be? It is. You use your experiences, and I'm sure perhaps from what I see, you're older than I am, and you've had more life experiences, more time, but that doesn't take away from anything. I'll only grow to even be better, day by day. Stay on the same path, guys. Not only Kamal, but everybody else in here. And I did see your email. Appreciate you. Thank you. I'll look through it when I have time. I'm going to leave here today since it's Saturday. I want to finish by 2. I'm going to go do some questionnaires. I might send you one. Maybe I won't get to it today. I have people on my list. But I'll look through those for sure. And that is, yes, taking the time to take the other generation or whatever generation it is and helping them. They got to go to school, go to school. If I have kids, go to school. That's what I would do. But if they don't want that, they're more creative and there's another route and it makes more sense, okay. But I would appreciate it if everybody, and you probably will look at it the same, is go to school, learn, challenge yourself. You won't know until you're there. You have to work on those skills. Like we work on these skills. Well, I'm not good at math. Get good at it. Be better than average. Be better than just what somebody else is saying. That's how I got better. I got better at chemistry. I got better at calculus. I got better. It was a batter. I got better at inferential descriptive statistics. I got better at writing. I was always best at that. In English. I did sign language, for God's sakes, in high school. Sign language, Hispanic. Where I could have just taken the easy route and done Spanish, French, Chinese. Those are much harder. But instead, I wanted to develop something where in the future, if I had to sign language with someone, and I've done it before, you guys don't know that feeling. Maybe you do, but that feeling, you just can't put your finger on it. You can't say it with words. This is why actions are so powerful, because everybody's experiences are different in how they compartmentalize. Not everything can be said. It has to be shown. There are many things that you can't even put into words. But you do. And you feel that rush like I just felt right now down my leg, a sensation of gratitude and being thankful. So I'm going to end this in a bit. Let me go to the comments again, though. Oh, nice. A graduate coming up. Not too far away. I'm sure you're feeling anxious, excited, and nervous all at the same time. I remember graduation. It's a big time. It's a big moment. Cherish it. Focus on those moments. Whatever happens, always remember this, guys, before I leave. You can let something in your day, like a mistake, a moment, can go backwards, but don't let it ruin your whole day. See, I don't let people who are the way that they are, they're very unpredictable. That was the purpose of this. Why I would leave this industry is because people are too unpredictable. Your guys' character, I'm sure Kamal, you know this, having employees, seeing their different patterns, having good, stronger relationships personally and in business. And they see how you are. It's no different on this end. Whether I have 2 to 3 employees or none, but I'm working with someone, I'm going to find the best use of energy and time for you and I. So you're going to find out, Kamal, when I send you stuff, you're going to say, oh, I see why he does it the way he does it. Dang, no other broker probably would have ever done it this way. Because I'm systems engineer minded, as you are. I'm very systematic, process driven, automated driven where I can, not everywhere. But you're going to see that. I'm going to bring all of these different patterns and processes. So like I said, I'll send you that questionnaire likely if you haven't submitted it. And you haven't yet. I see another one though. And then I'm going to send you an email response back. So I'll send you the questionnaire or questionnaires, whether it's real estate investments or just business funding for a real estate business or however you see it. And then I evaluate those answers. Like somebody here, I'll give you guys a quick example, and I really do have to get going though. At about 11 Pacific Standard Time here in Washington. So this person here, if you're in here watching, appreciate you. Thank you for submitting your questionnaire. Maybe you'll come back, excuse me. But I see everything from their name all the way down here till their describe your request field. They need money for payroll. They need to establish a physical location and business and workers' compensation insurance. Insurance is expensive, specifically for certain industries. And so here I see the amount of time they have in business. They're not a startup, but at the same time, they may have established an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, but they haven't done anything under it. Right. And I see that in the lowest monthly revenue part, so I appreciate them saying that. Their credit now, it's a big issue. Without me doing a soft pre-approval, myself and my internal team, just seeing that score alone, if you guys know, you know. Everything underneath the 600, we'll just say it's underneath 600. What can I do for them? Can they fix their own credit themselves? What do they need to do? Do they need credit repair? I can help them with that. I have the best in the industry, as I believe to. And I've done this stuff myself, but I have a great personal and business relationship with them. And you get to access my Rolodex, guys. It's not just funding. I'm going to show you how to run your own Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, PPC campaigns. I do that every single day. I do it for myself. I've done it for people. You know how many people are throwing the kitchen sink, the whole bathroom at me to help with my business loan broker business, to run ads for me and all that? I've done that myself already. I know what works and what doesn't. I know what's BS. I can see through people and their intentions. So right here, I see that their credit is less than 600, less than suffice. Options open, 401k, IRA financing, home equity line of, even at the home equity line of credit level is hard. Home equity loans, they have, if this is a true startup and the amount they're looking for isn't really worth doing this, but there would be equity crowdfunding, normal crowdfunding like a Kickstarter. That's something that I would start because it's a minimum amount that they are seeking. So I would do that. I'm going to show them this. That's where I would begin, because it wouldn't hurt with the amount that they want. Somebody could, if they have the right idea, wouldn't be necessarily angel investment for the amount. Could add that. Venture capitalists, a few of those, no, unless there's a huge business plan and a huge need. There are a few other ones. But personal/startup loans, we can't even get them personal funding because of their credit. Personal business credit cards without 0% interest, still hard to do. They don't have an optimized credit profile. They don't have business credit. So what I would do for this specific person is show them crowdfunding. I would show them a few other non-conventional solutions, and I would position it like I will do for you, Kamal. And I'll position at the top saying, Your best solution may be an SBA 7A loan. I'm going to be fully transparent. This is no joke. Like, I just got another rush because I appreciate helping you guys so much, but what is it that's reciprocated? Is there loyalty behind that is my question. And I was on a phone call with two gentlemen the other day for their e-commerce / Amazon business, doing very well. Have a couple of them very well known with celebrities, popular faces out there. Getting to learn about their business was very eye-opening, and understanding their problems, pain, what roadblocks, what obstacles, what are their actual results. So getting to uncover all that, then I realized, okay, I know what they want. Their shipping costs, they're flying things over air instead of on ground. They prefer to do it through boat. And I see all that. I understood all that. But positioned the SBA, but the difference with them is because they have 55 or 50% owner split, and the lowest credit score was a factor, and the SBA loan lender, or any at that level, less than a 620, less than 660, they wouldn't want to take it. One second. It was industry, but it was also the credit and the use of funds. So they needed it for merchandising, products and supplies. And for a lender, that's kind of shaky. In a market like this especially, like, they don't understand how they're going to make that return on investment. It's just too up in the air for when supplies come in, when they go out. Less is being deposited than what is going out. Shipping costs are already high. The margins on return for this business owner and these two in partnership, their margins are low. So my objective was to help them not only through business funding, but in other ways. How can they increase their profit margins? That's their end goal question. How can I increase my end goal profit margins? And they were thinking, because 50% of what they were earning, and this kind of happens with construction businesses too, is where they were earning, but they were giving 50% back to the suppliers, those vendors, immediately as fast as they got paid. Guess who they had to pay? So through their bank statements, I'm sure it would look like, wow, like this is just unacceptable. Even construction businesses, how they are built. Merchant cash advances or cash advance hybrids, those more better, but those products are not necessarily meant for contractors, subcontractors, more so for them. But it's because the money that comes in, they're already having to pay back someone else like that. There's a percentage, there's an agreement, there's a contract. That's why those products are made more for those who are in restaurants and retail, because it works different. They're making credit card deposits. They have credit card statements, but it's not just merchant cash advances. It's all revenue going into the business. We don't just look at credit card deposits or statements. We look at all revenue, cash, ACH, wire transfers, electronic transfers, everything. But if it's an SBA loan setup, if you have the right details, then I'll position that and I'll say, hey, I might give you 3 options, come on, and everybody else in here, I might give you 3, 4 options. I might just give you one, and I'll say, hey, this is the one. But I want you to be reassured that, hey, I'm not joking around when I mean that I have these relationships with them. And if I showed you 3, I'll say, hey, the first one I'll position, I'll say that's the best one. This is where you want to get started, and you'll see that. Second, third one, you can even assume those are not the best ones. Those are probably the last resort in case this lender changes their specifications, which they do at times. That's why I'm always in the know. And if something were to change, post, I would find out more, especially before. So I will go, the SBA is best for refinancing, debt consolidation, or it's for growth and expansion. This one's best for inventory. You're in this niche, this is what's best. But at the same time, if you needed funding like as soon as possible in 2 weeks, but the SBA was only going to approve you between 45 to 60 days or 4 to 8 weeks, can we do bridge funding? Can we do a line of credit? If it is, can we do a lump sum? Maybe we do a lump sum with the line of credit. So it just depends, and then we consolidate that all underneath the SBA. Nice. Advanced welding. That's pretty cool. I want to say congratulations, but not until June. You come back, I'll give you congratulations on that. But what I say to that is I have family who does welding too. But that's a pretty cool field. And I've even seen those videos, and I'm not sure if you've seen them, but I don't know how real they really are, but there's that like professor or that master who's looking at his students welding something, and he shows him, or he says, "How much do you think I can pay you for this?" Have you guys seen that? Yeah. And the kids go, like 18? Little old man look. I do that too. That's how I am. How about $35 an hour? Sorry if you guys hear the vacuum in the background. But you need an LLC license and info about doing it. How much research have you done on it? What do you know? And where is it? What part of it? On that, if you have researched that, are you stuck on? Cost, certain things. Yes, be positive. Exactly. I like the way you put it, Kamal. See, I'm observant. You in upper caps lock, as well as think. Exactly. Emphasize. Be you. Without an exclamation point. Be you, period. Like no questions asked. Be you. In a very nice manner. Tonality. And I know you know about tonality. See, when you let people do what they want to do, oh, they'll trample over you. Whether they did it intentionally or not. It's in the subconscious to do it. Am I right or wrong? It's in the way that they've been brought up and programmed that it just subconsciously, it's a routine. Muscle memory just takes over. But you need to reshape those. Yes, and take the time to think, guys. Everything, think it through. And as a VP, you know, my ownership and what I do in my multiple businesses, I take the time when I'm not here. You guys don't see a lot of what I do on the back end. To a lot. I'm taking the time to look over my spreadsheets. I'm looking at my budgeting. I'm looking at my cash flow. I'm looking at my reserves. I'm looking at what goes in, what goes out. What can I trim? What can I use less of or focus on one product more first or scale back to then get this service to the next level? So many different things. Yes, with obtaining business credit cards, I can do plenty of that. I was actually going to share that with you guys earlier, but I'm at the end of this. We're way above 11 o'clock. But the general answer, and I can go deep into this segment and say, hey, we should do a U.S. bank card. We can do a Chase bank card. This is what would happen if you got these inquiries, how we could remove them, how they can be removed, how that works. I'm not going to get into all that right now. But it's not as simple as saying, I'm just going to get a business credit card. You guys got to have an optimized personal credit profile. You might just be some points away, a high balance, credit utilization is high. You got to pay that off first to then increase your score. That's what I've seen to be the difference normally with about a 670 to a 700 is just high balances. Do you need to use a payday loan? Do you need to just clear that up quick and let that reflect? Do you have a late payment? You know, once you have late payments in the last 3 to 6 months, 12 months, like, there's only so much. But racking up too many inquiries. It's even true if you guys just get a soft pre-approval and you're applying for loans. Do not do that. Do not. It's not in your best interest. The power of awareness. There is, and like Kamal was saying, and then there's Atomic Habits. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. It could be contradicting with that book. Start with Why. Expert Secrets, .com Secrets. There are many, many, many more books I haven't even listed. There's more on personal development, motivation, get into business, marketing books. Not all of them are, like, you're not going to learn from a book, of course, but some of it can be outdated. It's not always linear, you guys. When you read a book like that, yeah, you're going to get points out. But one of my favorite ones, and he's working on another one, but this one is 100 Million Offers from Alex Hormozi. I love this book. Love it. It's gonna show you how to create offers, and if you haven't done that, you'll learn. I always had a problem of, it wasn't the lead generation to me, it wasn't the systems engineering stuff, but crafting and perfecting the right offer for the right person. And I can't get into offers, guys, but if you guys get funding through me, let's just say that. But great books. There's many more to read. I still go to Barnes and Noble. I got like the little gold card. And I'm not going to get giddy about it at all, but I like going into a bookstore. You don't always have to get everything from Amazon. I like going to an actual physical bookstore. When was the last time you walked into one? Minded your own business, opened the book just to read the synopsis, the summary, or what it would entail. I can pick something from this. And then you take it. You are most welcome, and I'm sure you do. I can see it. Without hearing the words, I could already sense that from you. I can sense punctuality. I can sense discipline. Literally. You are most welcome. So about another more minute. If anybody has anything, I might reset the clock, but let's do that. In the meantime, let me see if I missed anybody. Go to school to become good at something, but you want to be great at it. Yes. Exactly. You will learn a lot if you put yourself in the position to. Not just doing foundational classes, and you sometimes have to get out of your own comfort zone, get out of your own head, and learn different skills, different classes. Yes, you won't start off being the best. You can move from being okay and poor, okay, to then good, and then great. And then greatness also comes from experiences. So just because you were great in the classroom doesn't mean you're going to be great at running a business. How many friends do I have who have those kind of degrees and they're still employees? No shame to that. Would they rather do something else? Of course. Can they? They still can. They don't think they can because they don't have the abilities appear until I get in touch with them and they see what I'm doing. I give them that aha moment with my epiphany bridge story. But it's about taking action. It's about doing it consistently. Okay, about 30 more seconds, guys. Appreciate you guys on this Saturday. I normally wouldn't do this or go for this long. I want my cerebral to be intact. I don't want to be exhausted by the time I'm done. I have to get back and get caught up on questionnaires. I'll be done with the day. Relax, probably go out with some friends and family. Maybe enjoy a good meal. Yesterday I couldn't have meat, but I had fish at tilapia with rice, and I had beans. Those beans really did destroy my stomach. If you know, you know. They were black beans, smushed black beans. And we had lemon. We had some of the red cabbage on the top. I combined it with a little bit of wine that I received from a specific brokerage for helping them. Thankful. But I'm very, like when I speak slow, it isn't because I'm slow. It's because you need to listen. It's because you really need to absorb. You really need to take the time to know that you're going to learn something. When I eat slow, I'm probably the slowest person who eats. It's because I'm grateful and thankful for that meal, for that cow, for that chicken, for that fish, for sacrificing themselves, for my ability to eat. And that's what I'm so thankful for. Literally. Other people, they don't necessarily take it for granted. Maybe they do. But in that moment when I'm eating, I eat slow because I'm processing my thoughts. I'm processing my food correctly. I'm taking the time. My family even makes fun of me where I take probably like an hour to finish something, where my younger brother, like the jaws of eating, finishes in like 10 minutes. Because I've learned that appreciation. He's seen it through me. Literally, I'm having like, I don't want to show you guys this because I'm not like, I don't want to be that way. I'm emotionally controlled, and it's just, you do see this from me sometimes, and if you've seen my content, you have, and I've broken down before. The loss of my dog brother, last February of 28. This February 28th was a hard day. It was a day of reflection for me. I had to step away. Thank him for everything, because he saw me when I was at my worst. He saw me when I was at my best. Literally, and no more better than having a loyal dog. Peekapoo, toy poodle mixed with a Pekingese. Coolest dog. I think there were more rare dogs. But it was a tough time. Having to put him down after 15 years at stage 3 kidney disease. Held him in my arms the day we were going to send him in to put him down. Didn't think it was going to be that day, but he was suffering. He couldn't digest his food. We had to put a syringe in his mouth to feed him. I said, hey, it'll be okay. I'll be up there soon with you, grandma and grandpa. That was a hard day. Think about him every day, guys. And my why, if you guys ask me what's my why, it changes over time, but why is my dog. Why is because he saw me when I was vulnerable. He saw me at my best. He would come into my room, my office, and he would just lay on the bed, give him some love, play with them, hang out with them. Appreciate you. Thank you, Kamal. I think that's where I want to end it. All right, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Exactly. Yeah, I can say more, but I don't want to. My why in the beginning, was going away from pain and struggle of not getting paid enough, my position, being able to move up position in a role, company going down under. I needed to change. Do I go back to school and finish more and do something more, get more certifications? Those weren't the answer. I got connected with a friend of mine who showed me different ways. And yes, think about him every day. Every day. Not a day that goes by. At night, before I go to bed, I go next to where we have his stuff, and I go, thank you for being there for us. Thank you for getting us through another day. Thank you for getting me through another day. I know you were here. I know you are the reason too why I keep pushing myself every single day. No matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter about the money. What matters to me is that impact. That's what it is. It's if I can make a change in myself spiritually, in my faith, in how I carry myself every day. That's the ultimate goal, and I want to transfer that over to other people. Can I qualify for business loan payroll but have bad credit? Hey, did you just fill out my questionnaire, by the way? Well, the credit is different, but it just depends on your revenue. Do you have, how much time in business do you have? What kind of business? Yeah, okay. You probably weren't here earlier when I was saying this. We'll have to get non-conventional. We're going to have to figure out some other route because of credit and because of revenue. So I'll share with you these options when I have time to put your questionnaire together. I'll send it back to you. And usually what I do, guys, is I'll follow up via text message. On Saturdays, Sundays, I'm very considerate. So I don't want to be. Yeah, you can reach out to me, but I might not respond. But during weekends, I try not to do the text messaging stuff unless I really needed to. And we were talking before that anyways. But no, I'm not taking inbound calls and that. And I do things more effectively and more fluid. You guys will realize that and be like, dang. More questions. I think we'll stick around for a little bit then. I have to get going though really quickly. Really eating up into my time of doing things. Not your guys' fault at all. Good questions. Let's start off with the first one. How do I apply for business funding? So, there are many ways. Now, I put something for a limited time for you guys, but you don't necessarily have to go there. So I have a link tree in the bio. TikTok's weird. It doesn't show it sometimes, but I'm looking at it as we speak. Just so you guys know. Here, let me turn this around. Computer's right here. I'm going through my link tree right here. So what I'm doing is yesterday I put up a new link at the very top, and it says business funding application for all. And if you were to click that link, I went live yesterday for about an hour and 35 minutes. And right here, you're going to watch a video where I walk you through the process of a non-startup and startup application process and what to expect from it. But every application, every service is different. So this is why I don't normally show a application link, and I don't think I'm going to leave it like that for too long, because you may not be going to the right source. You wanted a certain SBA loan lender. Why did I list you that one? This company doesn't deal with all those services. This is not the direct lender for that. So there are many reasons why I don't do that. But what I would recommend is bio or site, viralfundingsolutions.com. Go there. Go to the part about where it says how it works. click the button underneath the 3 or so steps that I created, go to the questionnaire, select which one applies to you, fill it out. I'll evaluate it, analyze it, and give you a proper response back via email on your best funding option and options, thoroughly broken down. Nobody else's business. Nobody else does this, guys. Nobody does it, or at least to the effect that I can. I've iterated these emails. I've iterated my systems. I've iterated it, and I'm still iterating. I'm still finding out better ways of saying, how can I make this message more effective? How can I put this option here versus this option? Or if another lender comes in, how can I put this? Or how about if this organization were to come in? Well, there's 3 different ways of getting this personal funding, but if you don't have a credit of this, and there's this one, and there's that one, boom, this is where I would begin. At the end, you have a conclusion where I give you guys what you should do, what I see, the roadmap. Let's start off with getting you business credit cards because you have a high credit score. You only want it to show on your business credit. So we're going to do business credit cards. If we can do 0%, we'll do that. And then in the meantime, you keep establishing your vendor credit. And then from there, as that grows your revenue over the next 3 or so months, we can revisit things. And where you are then, maybe we look at unsecured business financing through revenue. We look through a few scenarios. So it just depends. I don't charge people right now. I don't do those like high consultation payouts. I may have it later. I may not. I don't think I will. But no, I don't charge people. It has to make sense for me to do a consult. Consults, normally I start off on Facebook Messenger because I can't be taking calls or giving people calls all the time. It's not always the best use of energy and time. And it's not because I don't want to care about somebody. It's because, you guys, put yourself in my shoes. I get a lot of people. Selective ones, I surely look at those as well. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. But by the time, if we ever got on a phone call, when you see that questionnaire submitted back to you, all you need to do is ask me a certain question or you just needed more clarity. This will take less than a minute. Great, thanks. I'll get the application and documents sent over to you. Or if I were to ask you, if you lead in with that, great, even better. But if I were to ask you, when do you think I can expect to receive your application and documentation by? Just be transparent. I know a lot of people don't like that question being asked. I won't pressure you. Just be honest. And yes, you can get my help without having to hire me charging you for that. Yes, questionnaire I would recommend first though. It's not about just starting an appointment with me. I know people are hesitant to submit things online. It's okay. I get it. I've been there. But with me, it's different. It's not like this whole, well, I'm going to use this information against you. It's not confidential and secure. It's very confidential and secure with me. But it's not an application to begin with. It's a questionnaire where I'm going to set you up with the right service. And then we can get started. From that email, you can get started. Literally, there's a link with fintech companies and a lot of other derivatives of. And how I would expect this to get done, I'll ask it. Or maybe there's a portal. Or here, I attach the PDF documentation. This is what I would need submitted. Now, it's about talking. It's about doing. I don't want to hear this anymore. I want to see it done. We're at this part of our communication. Not being aggressive. I'm saying it to be truthful. Like, we're at this part of our communication. Why hasn't this been sent back to me? Like, it's been 2 weeks. You could have just told me that your staff wasn't on board. They were sick. Why did I have to wait 2 weeks to hear from you? Just send me a quick email. I'm not saying you have to call me or I have to call you. I won't do that. I don't want to do that. Please don't do it. Let me do that. I don't want to do that. Please don't put me in that. That's an uncomfortable position to be in a lot of cases. Depends on what it is, though. But, hey, Michael, boom. I'll send you over the documents in a minute. Yesterday, a friend of mine we're doing the SBA, he submitted everything, basically. I spoke with my SBA loan lender. Her and I had a great conversation. She was at the end of her day, said, I'm putting a time block for about 30 minutes to look over things. I might get back to him today or on Monday. We'll follow up. Okay, I'll let Danny know this, blah, 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 blah. Or, hey, I'll let Jessica know this, blah, 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 blah. Done. I made her life easy. Brief pauses in our conversation because I was listening more than I was speaking. Does anybody else have anything? I will truly get going here, though, in under 30 seconds, unless somebody says something. I'll go. And if I did miss anybody, I apologize to you guys. Thank you, Sicilian guy. Thank you for sharing the live, as well as others if you have. Again, in case I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I don't normally ask you to share the room. I guess maybe I forget, or it's just not like that, I guess. But it helps. And if you feel you can help a lot more people, I'm not selling anything. I'm not here to just tell somebody, hey, go start an application and See what happens. If you don't want the funding, that's not my character. Other people out there will do that. They will bait and switch you. They don't have ethics. They don't have morals, or they do, but how strong? How strong are their values? How strong is their focus? Where does their true loyalty lie? In you, or doing what's in best interest for them in their business? I bet you guys don't think of those things, do you? Some of you in here do. Hi, Harvey girl. How are you doing? We're finishing up. What I recommend doing for more information is bio or my site, viralfundingsolutions.com, or email MICHA as in Adam, E as in Edwin, L at something going viral. So viral funding solutions with an S at the end.com. And I'll send you more information. But we spoke about why I would quit in this space, why I would leave being a business loan broker / agent, but a true business loan broker. I'm not just saying, hey, I'm a referral partner. I actually I send applications, I do all of this stuff. I look and revise and do things with my team. I get in it, go find an offer, go do all that. Why I would leave it is because of people. I'm not saying you, but I would leave it because of somebody here or maybe somebody elsewhere who causes too much energy and time friction and resistance, where we're beyond that already. Or, wow, it took forever for us to go through this. Like, I'm all for helping you and going to battle for you, but in that regard, wow, it's just only the initial amount. We're still in motion and you're causing all of this disruption. We haven't even looked at what the application would look like. We haven't even brought up that. No need to be sorry at all. But hopefully with some of the information I gave you, that is helpful. Thank you, Harvey girl. Appreciate you for the share and for the follow as well. I'm going to go have breakfast after this. I haven't had any. This is normally the time I usually have brunch. Okay, 30 more seconds now. Again, we reset the clock because somebody had commented or multiple. So I'll reset it. There's another one. Okay. And I mean that in a good way. I don't say that like, oh, there's another one. I am talking about business funding. I don't want to sound like I'm saying it again, but you can only say it so many times. But I spoke about why I wouldn't continue being your business loan broker, like as an expert, like knowing their actual stuff, knowing what happens in the market for different services, for different industries. And it's because of people. People will just, man, I can go through my emails and I can show you who are the people who are receptive, like not even saying that they're serious to put in an application, but just responsive enough. It doesn't have to be a big message. You could just say, hi, Michael, I saw it. I'll get back to you soon. But then that keeps reoccurring. That's a reoccurring theme with business owners. And it isn't my fault. Like, what did I do to deserve this? I've opened up. I've done enough of what I needed to sincerely. And I show that I really do care. I'm not just putting it out there. But the way people want to mistreat me or mistreat others, and those others, I can't speak for them because they may be acting different. But for me, like, it's not in my character to act like that for someone. And then they reciprocated in a way that shouldn't have been. And I go, okay, what was that? I'm doing more than just helping them getting business funding. It's like, this is the way that they would treat me. Like, it doesn't really happen too much, but there's a few people out there who just, and they don't even say anything sometimes. They just kind of go cold. And I'm like, is this who you are? Is this really how you are? I'm sure this is what you are as a person. Like, I don't want to judge here. I'm not trying to, but it's unprofessional to leave somebody hanging like that without anything. Like, nothing. Like, I wouldn't even want to work under you. Some people probably don't already. Does anybody have anything? I can hear my belly. My belly rumbling. Feed me. Nice, okay. So I just received an email from a client of mine that I've been helping him with his trucking business. He's doing about 1.8 million or so in invoices, unpaid invoices, and he's over leveraged. We couldn't get him a lump sum amount of funding, but I've been working with him closely. He does about 20 to 30 million a month, or a year, excuse me, about 2 to 3 or so million per month. But they were over leveraged. We couldn't get them more funding, and then the market for his business is much harder, location wise too. That has a big downfall. But he does have trucks and trailers, owns them outright, has the titles, and he's asking about the process, which I more or less gave him, but I'll answer more to that. If not today, hopefully the latest by Monday. If I don't get to him today, I know the process, but hopefully I'll get to him. Where's the email coming from? This way I make note of it. I can usually remember most people by usernames, fine, but sometimes it's a thin line, especially when I get those user accounts. Sometimes it becomes a little bit more blurry. Okay. So they turned to their bank. Fortunately, their bank was willing to help. Like before they wouldn't. Well, that's why I always say go to your bank first if you can, and if there's another derivative of that or an addition we want to add, we can look at doing that. Your banks don't always understand you though, and your funding uses. Underwriting, more mundane, credit committees. Underwriters are retiring. Whatever's happened with COVID, post-COVID, now they have a bigger realization. Communication from different departments, it's not the best. Technology, streamline application process, underwriting, how much they take from you in order to get you your funds, specifically with term loans. Lines of credit are harder to get approved for. SBA at your bank isn't always the best, most fluid, not best for your niche. There's a lot more transparency, communication you get. We don't have to double underwrite files with specific types of funding services. You can't liquidate the cash out of your accounts fast enough, or you can't do anything that you would want to. You don't have a relationship with them or enough of it. It's not strong enough. You need to move somewhere else, or you need to do something different. So it all depends. There's many more reasons. Where is the email coming from? I'll give you 30 seconds. Ten seconds. Five, four, commence self-destruct. I was finding the word. 3, 2, 1, 0.5, 0.4. Asking a question within a question. Yeah, but what is the email I should be looking for? Got it. see, without me looking for what I need, or if the questionnaire hasn't been submitted, like I can go in here and say, well, you need this credit, you need this credit, and that for that. But it's a different thing for the use of funds, and it just depends. So I can't go here and start saying that you need a 500 credit score, 600 credit score, if I don't know if it's credit based, cash flow based, collateral based. So it could be a multiple amount of fundings, multiple amount of services. But until I know what I'm looking for, I can't just say, well, you need to to apply. Let's just start there then. It just depends on the service. Online application, sometimes there's PDF. Got it, thanks. So for even if it's just medical delivery or any other industry, depends on what service we go in. So it could be 3 months of bank statements, depending on if it's California, disclosure laws, and other states. We normally would ask for 4 months of bank statements, usually approved with 2+ offers that we have to present. So those 3 months or 4 months, 4 to 6 months, seasonality up to 12 months, just depends on the case and the service. Liquidity, equity reasons, and stuff like that. Maybe SBA loan we ask for. Got it. Thanks for sharing that. And so that, a copy of your driver's license and a voided check. So it's lower documentation, but I could have said medium. I could have said higher doc, no doc. See, this is what I don't know. And it's kind of like going blind into a blind date. And so I have to know what you bring to the table so I can understand. Once I see that questionnaire submitted, I have no questions unless you didn't fill it out appropriately or something was like missing. But I could sit here and ask you a lot of questions, but we're at the end of the video. I normally would ask more questions, but that's what I recommend. And if you're asking to see an email, where should I be looking? Like I would have, by now I would have already located it. I'm on my emails. Bio, link click, second button. I may move the first button soon. But you can also go to the site, viralfundingsolutions.com. There will be an apply now button, but it's really a questionnaire. Yes. Or you can scroll down to the part where it says how it works. Third step after, button. Click, fill out one of the two. Questionnaire, submit, evaluate, analyze, response back via email. You can get started from that email. Simple. Done. If you have any questions on that, you can send me back an email. I might have my text mobile number by then when I just remind you that I sent you the email. If it deserves a call, if it's needed for a call, for clarity purposes and for other things, or it's not going to take up and eat up a lot of time where I'm then having to re-go over all the qualifications and I'm like, I showed you that email. Did you not see it? People who don't see that email, then I have to go through that and they wonder why I could be so, I was going to use the word macro, but I could be more brief. So yes, these calls may be more brief or they may be more open, just depends on where it goes. But that email will have everything you need to know, all objections, all questions. Well, if I'm getting weekly, why am I getting weekly? If I'm getting monthly, when can I get monthly? Does it even allow it to get me monthly? Why am I getting this option versus that option, Michael? And I put it for you in clear readability. If you need somebody to help you with that, please do so. But it's right there. It's like people don't even take the time. Treat it like a contract. When you see that questionnaire, look at it and go, no questions asked. Maybe I do have this. Send him a quick email. Or this is how we should approach this. Okay, Michael, thank you for sharing me the plan. I'm going to start with an SBA loan. Or I'm going to start off with, if I can only start off with $100,000, I really wanted $3 million. $100,000 I'll be happy with. And if we could add a line of credit, we'll try to. With everything considered, great. And then you're saying we can use that as bridge money right now. Yes, we can use that as bridge money. And then we can go and start applying, if we haven't already, for an SBA loan or fix this first. And then we can get ready for an SBA loan. And then on top of that, in the meantime, while you're getting approved for an SBA loan, how much of the funds have you already used? Do you have time to split? So then now you can focus on these business credit cards if you haven't already. So now see how you have different dimensions and you're adding more depth to your portfolio? And I'm helping you, myself, with my internal team, understanding what business credit cards, what personal credit cards, what to steer away from, what to get ready for, what term loan options from what lenders, because not every lender is the same. You guys, I don't know how many times I have to say that. But for those of you who get it, good. For those of you who just keep hearing it and just keep doing what you want to do, behind my back, if it's not my back, it's somebody else's, because you think that's what's best. People are going to be throwing offers at you like they do at me all the time. They're saying, hey, come get this $80,000 loan, come get this $80,000 advance, and then here's the contract. I'm like, well, what? I don't know you. Get away. Welcome in. What type of equipment purchase are you seeking? And for what business? Would this be trucking, construction, medical? You did say production, so that gives me a good indication that you're in the creative art space, events, a box truck. Very common right now too. I'm not going to get into all the reasons why you would and wouldn't qualify. That's going to take another video. I've already created somewhat content like this. But yeah, if it's traditional equipment financing, leasing to own, sales leaseback, we can work on these. Just depends on startup credit, depends on the down payment. If you have down payment access, 0 to 30%. Usually with startups in this market, you can see 15 to 30% plus, even 30% and above because of credit. Some lenders won't issue because of credit issues. In this market, it's harder to get certain pieces of equipment with depreciation, appreciation, liquidity. You're seeing the auction cost value, and there's a lot of things and how they price different equipment. Got it. Yeah, I can help you with this. How much are you seeking? New, used as well? Good question. I'll get to you in just a second, Code. Appreciate you guys. I said I would be going, but you guys are asking great questions. And I know I am eating up into my schedule where I should be doing questionnaires. But I'm enjoying this. And I don't normally do a live on this for this long, let alone be on video for this long. I'm an introvert. Got it. Okay, so it could be traditional equipment financing, leasing, startup situation. We could leverage creative credit-based financing if you have the right credit. Got it. Yeah, I saw the first one. I know there was no comma, but yeah, we can work on that. I would ask you about credit. I'm not sure if you want to share that here. Maybe you can give me a range, but we can do that on the back end. So what you could do is fill out my questionnaire with credit, with the amount you're seeking, as you said, for a box truck. Even give me a quick reminder. Say, hi, Michael, this is NFG Production, or this is my name with NFG Production from TikTok. And that sits more with me than others who just fill it out and they put expansion, but I'm like, what kind of expansion project? Like, that doesn't matter. Like, it matters. And so if you could be detailed and describe your notes section at the bottom of that questionnaire that I put for you guys, explain it as much as you can. And if you have existing loans, like I told somebody on a call the other day, they told me about existing loans. They had a $15,000 and about a $40,000, so $55,000 total that they had taken out. Now there's a remaining balance, but I had said on the call that would have been helpful to know on the questionnaire. Kind of put it lightly, but they got the gist of it. Like, they should have put that because that would have helped me. That would have mitigated my energy and time in the direction where the conversation was going. But we could also do a startup creative base if you have stronger credit. We could do a combination of installment term loans, personal lines of credit, and also on the personal side, but personal or business credit cards or. We could do a combination. Maybe that's something you use as a down payment for equipment financing and more. Yeah, and there's more to this, so you know. I can get into bad credit this, good credit that, and if you have a down payment of this is what the expectations are for box trucking lenders, and there's so much. But fill out that questionnaire for me, and then I'll be able to help you. You are most welcome. Thanks. Am I finding it that lenders are becoming more stringent? Yes, on lending at this moment. Definitely, by far. A lot of lenders have dropped off, and many of the line of credit lenders you're seeing just like evaporate overnight. And those who manage different services are not, because they have more to balance with. Issuing those lines of credit right now are most difficult, and the A-tier lenders normally, or B-tier, A-tier lenders are normally the ones who are dishing them out, and they're being more conservative. Lenders are drawing back from, it's not like an actual bank where they're trying to lower their debt, so they're issuing less, and there's more reasons, but they're becoming more conservative because it's a higher risk now with the economy, with inflation, with everything, consumers consuming what they're consuming. Where's the market? And so it could change from day to day for certain industries. And if they were to issue somebody a line of credit, they could be at fault for doing that and their reputation. And so whether it's a line of credit, a lump sum or not, we don't want to have anybody default. We don't want to have anybody get into troubles and not being able to handle their credit. From day to day, credit has been changing a lot right now is what I've been seeing. But I've also seen the market shift to startups a lot. Equity crowdfunding, venture capitalists, private investors. I've been doing a lot of that. A lot of people with smart inventions. I can't speak about them, but they told me not to, but just certain people. But yes, I'm seeing a movement now, and more people are actually paying closer attention to their personal credit more than they ever have. And that's an advantage because you're saying, if I have this credit, but I have this revenue and I'm not getting approved for that amount, well, that's fine. I can start somewhere, but I'm not getting what I want, or this is becoming too high, or this lender has now a different guideline, because that's what they're doing. They're changing their guidelines where revenue has to become more, the credit has to become greater to lend for this amount of time. They're saying this amount of time in business with this industry because they have a shortage, or because they have different, it depends on the industry. I was going to get into one of them with trucking, but it just depends. Trucking, construction, medical, technology. I'm seeing some restaurants boom more than others right now. Medical, technology, those are great industries right now that are doing well. I'm not saying for everybody, but for the majority I'm seeing. But yeah, it's different for each and every one of them. Like their capacity of wanting to lend past 200,000, it has to make complete sense. They're generating well over 200,000 per month, 300,000, 400,000, and consistently no fluctuations. The right amount of deposits, right amount going in versus what goes out, and they'll be willing to work with that. But you see a market of a lump sum without SBA loans getting approved between 100 to 250,000 max, and specifically for like a lot of contractors, construction companies. You may not like it, but it's where you have to begin and get that relationship in the door with myself and my lender. And once you're in, and my lenders know me, they go, okay, great. It's Michael. I know how to handle it from here. They do that part of the heavy lifting. I did my heavy lifting. Now it's their part. And they usually fulfill on it. And it's not the same when they're bringing files into them. Like, let's say another person brought a file to them, but then my file comes to them from a different person, not the same person. But they're going to go to mine a lot of the times, focus on, because they know what I can do and how helpful I have been to people. It's not about the money to me, as in like what I earn. It's about doing the best I can for the person. Good question. So no fees that I charge, no application, no hidden costs. And be careful, guys. If you guys watch people on like my social media, YouTube, blog, whatever it is, less blogs, but there are people who, even there, because they comment, and it's weird, bots and stuff. But be careful, because I'm not associated with those people. Those are spammers, scammers, etc. Not associated. Verify the profile, reach out to me. Don't contact them. Even on Facebook Reels, a lot of people are getting those messages. It's just common sense. But it just depends. It's a success fee. It's an origination fee, depending on the service, 0 to 5%, revenue-based. Is it a personal startup loan? Are we doing 15% origination fees? And the reason it becomes higher too is because you also, one, are leveraging the expert, but then the amount of work that they have to take, myself and my team included, even for lower amounts, we ask ourselves if it was really even worth that, and it has to be. And so it's like an SBA loan. Do a lower deal, but it takes the same amount of effort and time it does to do a bigger deal. But there's more more hurdles to go through than it is you would imagine for a larger amount. A lot more. But yeah, there are higher amounts, contingency fees. There's the ERC credit, like you can see 10% up front or 15%, even up to 20% or so. But it's less about the percentage. It's more about the benefit of using that money. People give me reasons for, I couldn't take the money for economy reasons, and I ask them more questions about certain things on specific topics, and I really dig deep and I find out that they're just lacking confidence. They're lacking certainty. They're lacking fear. Their lack of fear thereof is what it is, and their beliefs, and they don't know. They don't have a financial plan. It's not as concrete as maybe they thought it was. They don't know how to understand those finances. They really don't understand the use of the funds or how it would give them a return on their investment. They don't know. They can to a surface level, but really do they know? Once they have that money in their hands, it becomes real. And they go, this didn't work. my return on my investment, I thought it would be this, but it ended up becoming this. My cash flow's going backwards now, and there's so many reasons. I know the psychology. I know how you guys think about funding. Not only funding, but all other things as well, in other cases. So it's just the broker fees at the end and lender origination fees and closing costs. Depends on the service. But you're in good hands. This isn't Allstate though. Bio questionnaire, site viralfundingsolutions.com. Apply now, but it's a questionnaire. I'm going to change it probably to questionnaire. But you can also look down below on the homepage, 3 steps. There will be a button. Click there and you can get started. I do want to be transparent. I said this earlier. If you're afraid to put information online, with me, you're safe. Guaranteed, guys. I'll take care of you. But it's not me who sends... When we go into an application and some other person is bombarding you with emails or different lenders, it's very likely it's not coming from me. They just find out you apply online, but you're protected. Got it. Yeah, I can definitely look at it. So what I do different, Code, I have accountants on my team. I have real estate investors. I have other brokers who send me their deals. And I'm more than happy to give them their part. Because what I do, and I say this with confidence, not cockiness, I think it's exceptional. Like, you're going to walk out of this like, holy crap. Like, he just made my life so much easier than I ever thought I could. And so right here, the way you want to do this, and what I tell my real estate investor friends and what I tell my accountants, sorry, we're having people over, but what I tell all of them is the way to do this is you want to have them submit a questionnaire on my site. And what I mean by that is I'll have you do the same if it is for your business. For anybody else, it's no different. So what you'll do is with my questionnaire, I can send it to you in an email. That's what I do. This is what I do for everybody. It's not that I don't want to get on a call, guys. It's just, it's not always the best use. I have people who said, like some time ago, I'm going to send you referrals. I have people in the medical, like they never send anything. Accountants who were like, I'm going to send stuff. I can even ask when, and like they become unresponsive, like little kids. And even if they're busy or not, even if they saw it or not, it's like that should be on the back of your mind. And I'm not expecting it because I have other ways as well. But what I do is I'll send you an email. What you want to do is send me an email at michael@viralfundingsolutions.com. Let me know, hey, this is the vital code, or this is your name with this username. And then I will go ahead and send you, I'll walk you through the same thing I did with others. I'll say, hey, if you ever have a client that you need help with, send them my questionnaire first. What I'll do is I'll talk it over with them in an email format because, again, like I said, if I spend too much time and energy on a call with people, it normally doesn't go anywhere. Not because of my fault, but because of the other person. They're just information seekers, and I'm doing things without expecting anything in return. That's right, exactly. But there's a lot of times where people just want information and they're just not doing it correctly. They're abandoning my communication, and I don't want that. I don't need that. None of that. No energy or time fluff, guys. And so what I'll do, Code, is I'll send you that email format. And you're saying here, yeah. And what I'll do, if you're associated, maybe there's a time where I've had clients or brokers where they have their own links, and I'll infuse that link into my own email so they get the credit for it. Cool, great. But it depends on how much heavy work I have to do too. So I do more heavy lifting, and my team do, when everything does get submitted when we review it. You guys don't see all that. We work on their back end, we're communicating. And so when that happens, Code, I'll send you an email back. Hey, here's the questionnaire for your clients. Here's the real estate questionnaire. There might be an equipment questionnaire. Make sure they fill out the right one. You'll see it too. You can go through it yourself, maybe fill it out for your own business, etc., or however you see it. And an accountant did that not too long ago because they're sending me clients. And I said, anytime you have somebody, just send me a quick email, text message. You might have my mobile number by then. You say, hey, Michael, I have a person named Sally with the medical business. She'll be coming to you. I'm going to send her your link, your questionnaire link. Boom. Have her submit it. Have him, whoever it is, submit it. I'll be on the lookout, but let me know who it is. I just don't want to be like, I need to know that too. Although I work on every file equally, I need to know too, like, am I getting it from who or what's going on? Because I want to give credit to you. I want to be able to give you a percentage. That's right. I don't say, hey, I'm going to take it all for myself. I just paid out my real estate investor friend the other day for bringing me a client. Send him a quick email. Boom, here's the code. Add this code. Boom. Different account with Relevate, and instead of Zelly all the time, it's with Relevate. It's a cool one. I might share with you guys in time. Really cool. He's really interested in it. But with that said, I usually give people I'm fair. I give people between 15 to 22%, sometimes at lower than 15%. Of my overall total funding amount. So if I get like 14,400, let's say on one total paid out to me after what's been paid out to the lenders, et cetera, okay, then I will give you about 15 to 22% of that, likely. So it depends on how much work. It depends if it's in a renewal. I don't always do a lot on renewals. Could be less, just factoring in what kind of work you did, but I usually do a lot of the heavy lifting. So it's very reasonable with me. And even if I got 14,400 and you took away 3,500, 2,500, like I have to be very reasonable. It can't always be a 50-50 split. It has to be somewhere between like 70-30, sometimes 60-40 if I really am close or you're really doing it well. 50-50 is much harder. 60-40 is even harder. It has to make sense more 70-30, 80-20, 90-10. It's kind of like pushing it, but there are cases for it. And so I have to be very reasonable with people, and I have to say, well, I'll give you your percentage, and you've done well. You've sent me like 5 different clients in the same month, in the next back-to-back month. Great. So here, I'm going to bump this up for you, and then the quality of that client, boom. And then you're now adding 3,000 on a 14,000. I got a 10,000 amount. Now you're getting probably 2,500 on that. So you're adding more. And if you bring me more, guys, I'm more than happy to help you. More than happy. Like, this is me and you. I'm full transparency. I can even put my other friends on the phone. You can talk to them. And you can say, Michael's just very simple to work with. Simple. Very punctual, disciplined. So just be direct, or you could be indirect with him. He won't bash you down. He won't do none of that. He listens more than he speaks. He really knows what you're saying. Even if the words don't come out right, he understands it. Yes. Let me put it in the comments again for you guys. I don't think I did earlier, but here it is. Yeah, no, I don't think I did. So first name, M-I-C-H, A as in Adam, E as in Edward, L, at viral, something goes viral, funding solutions with an S at the end.com. So perhaps you guys can't see it. Sometimes TikTok is weird. That's why I don't spend a lot of time posting on TikTok, guys, because they've lowered my view count. It's not all about views, it's impact, but it's because of the type of vertical that I'm in. And they want to not necessarily punish, but they want to work with people who are more entertaining, people who are just shaking their butt, people who are just doing a lot of, to me, what is not educational. Like, I don't mind sometimes being on TikTok, watching a few things, but I'm here for education. You guys got to consume less, produce more. I tell my mother that when I call her. I'm like, are you on TikTok now? And so it's like, there's a time and a place for it, but just make sure you do it correctly. Just joined. What type of funding is this? You're looking to fund an acquisition. For what type of a business? So it depends. I'm speaking about a broad amount. I spoke about why I would quit as a business loan broker. If you guys are just joining, I should have been doing questionnaires for the last 2 hours. I got to get caught up on those, really. But, excuse me. What I was talking about was why I would quit and I wouldn't be available to you guys, or very limited, is because of the people on the other side. It's not me. It's not maybe you, but it's someone else who just causes a lot of friction and resistance. And it's just, there's going to be that at that point. But at a point, we have to say, that's gone. That's been removed. Why are we going backwards? Why is there no feedback? We have that personal business relationship. Whether it wasn't strong or not, people don't deserve to not get a response or not get a good enough of a response. And if you want the best, you go to the best. I said stories earlier about a lady who kind of betrayed, and I thought she was loyal. She was. She got initially $200,000 through me, through one of the best sources. Others would have gotten her like $100,000, $150,000. We actually gave her multiple offers, and we said we can get up to $200,000. Next time she comes around, thought it was a second position. We got her approved for about $95,000, and I had to go to work with this lender who knows me, who I know them, and they were delivering. So they said, hey, despite some non-sufficient funds negative days that they had, other lenders were going to give her a lot less or nothing, closer to $15,000. Well, we had to readjust the offer from 95 about to 15K because she took funding with someone else. Now, she just shattered the relationship there, pretty much, on the business side at least. And she did it also with my real estate investor friend, who he had introduced me to her. So he even told me over a call we had, over a text message, he's like, I just can't believe, I just don't sit for people who I try to help and you do, and you put your reputation, you put all this energy and time in, and then you find out something like that. And that's just, he said, that's like putting a sword on your back. That's not even putting a knife and twisting it. That's putting a sword into your back all the way through. And years of relationships with that person, that entity, whatever you want to go at, just shatters. And it just takes a thought to do that. Emotion that you think is motionless. It's just a thought. It's a subconscious one too. It's a conscious level, subconscious one that you make. And that right there, is it repairable? Do I want to help them? Maybe, maybe not. But that's where I have to put my foot on the ground and say, hey, do you really mean it? I don't want you to say, I want you to do. Once I'm off this phone call or we're done with this email, show me. Just do it. Don't ask questions. You know what has to be done. I'll meet you here now. You're here. I'll meet you here. You're looking at recruiting a recruiting business. Nice. So like a staffing or a temporary recruiting business or full-time. Third parties, etc. Property management or e-commerce. Oh, so you want to do either one of them. Got it. Which one of the three would you rather do? What do you see more upside on? Have you actually looked at all that? You probably have already. Looked at all the details, the seller, what they're financing, if they are financing anything. Is there a seller note? What is the value at? How much would you need? I'm sure you did all your work, which every one of you should have a plan for this and understand, okay, here's the business. Here's how I look to acquire the business. Is it a franchise? Is it not a franchise? How do I get connected with getting the funding for it? What are my ways of getting connected to funding? Is it an SBA loan, preferably? I'm doing a lot of those, done a lot of those. But that's the direction I would lean in with. E-commerce, it's a lot harder to, unless the business is already like doing well and it's stable, because e-commerce for certain lenders, for SBA, it's a lot harder. Certain digital businesses. And like I said, I had an e-commerce client the other day who can't do an SBA loan. They gotta clear their high balance as their partner too. And then we'll come back for their existing business. For their startup, it's going to be a lot harder. They're going to have to do some other form of creative financing with me, because the bank won't help them with that. Yeah, but for property management, for anything residential, anything commercial, anything we're doing real estate investments on, the SBA won't be able to lend on unless it's 51% owner-occupied commercial real estate. Done a lot of those. Residential, commercial. I've done a lot of ground-up construction, doing a lot of those right now. New construction for home builders, duplexes, the list goes on and on. Fix and flips. I'm not going to get into the whole real estate side right now, though, and talk about terms and all that. So hold off on that, guys. I know my stuff. I just don't want to get too deep right now because of time. But yeah, I can help you with this. If you do need help, as well as anybody else in here, bio link click. And really, if you think you will do it, don't put it off. It happens where we get busy, but come back to it. Don't be that person. Don't be that person that says something, even if you just said it here. I never anymore, really never did, but never say something and I never act on it. Like, if I had a delay, okay, I'll get back to it. But I won't take up too much time. I won't let things interrupt me. And so if you are serious, then fill out that questionnaire on my site at Viral Funding Solutions. Again, if you guys find value from this content, I would appreciate it if you shared it with others. I don't say that enough. We're already at the end of this video. Here it is. Appreciate you. Thank you. Vital code. Got it. And I like how you put it in the subject line. Yeah, I will learn more about you. And when you guys do, I'll structure this appropriately. And I know you want to discuss the funding needs, but that's why I also have it in the, you'll see it in my questionnaire when I send it out to you. You'll ask, oh, okay, I'll just send this to my clients. And you can even say, hey, this is Michael with this. And they might have a way of like, I know how they think. I was there before too. Like, I need to get on a call. It's not always necessary to get on a call. It has to make sense for me. And I'm sure you have good clients, but I can't take that risk because then I spend energy and time invested into the emotions, which I love, but then logically, and then if it does make sense or it doesn't, and then it's like I had to explain the whole qualifications and what I'm giving you guys here, and it's like if I were to be doing that 20, 30 times a day or every other day, I wouldn't be in this industry anymore. But I've perfected my systems, and you'll see. And you might not like it the way some people are like, well, I don't like the way you have your process. It's efficient. It's a higher standard. It's a higher access. I'm not a customer service rep. I'm not just the information or the marketer in the front of the company. I'm doing everything. The back end stuff. I have to do this because, how am I going to present myself in certain ways? I could be on foot. Yeah, do that. I do it as well. I have bank managers, a lot more, galore. The community behind Chamber of Commerce, whatever, everything here. So it's like, why do I need to go do all that when I have more efficient systems of doing them? See, when you're not a business owner, or you are, but you haven't done this yet, for you, it's like, well, I don't like that. Well, because you haven't done it, or it hasn't worked for you. Not bashing you or anybody, it's just you haven't done it. I've been doing this for many, many years, not only in this industry, but in my other ones, those industries taught me how to do it in this one. If I was able to do this with my affiliate marketing, and I was perfecting this system, and I was building this system, I was building this course, and then I was sending people to this way, and then they would get contact with me this way, my Manny chats, my website bots, my this and this. So I wasn't always having to be there every single second. Now, when I give them the questionnaire email back, at that point they go, Michael, I just needed clarity on this. Your client may then be able to get a phone call with me. Hey, yes. And you see my content. You can show them my content, say, hey, and they'll resonate with them. And it goes, okay, well, it's content, yes, but I'd rather get a call. It has to make sense at that point. And if I were to be doing this every single day where I was just accepting phone calls and giving phone calls, if it didn't make sense to, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't live with myself. I don't know if you could, but the whole point is to detach yourself as well from a business. And if you're just attached to it, just working another 9 to 5, you can't work for a certain amount of hours without people running down your neck, calling you whenever they want to call you. Wow, that is a recipe for bad health, bad disasters. Not always, but it's just people out there who are willing to just accept that are just hungry and they're just probably not doing well, or they are, but it's just like they'll accept anything and everything and don't have my personality, my introversion, I think it's a new word, my introverted qualities and so forth. Can you get a loan for 1 year for an old services business? I mean, it's possible. I can't say you can until I have more details to the business. And I'm speaking with Mars. I can't say you will. I say it's possible. But until I know what you bring to the table, until I see that questionnaire, then I'll have a better understanding if it is possible. But yes, anything is. Sometimes you have to optimize and work for it and work towards it. But there's a plan that I haven't set in place for people on what to do. It's not like I abandon people and I say, got them through the application. And no, I'm going to be there. Yeah, but whether it's a new services business, it's an old services business, as long as the details, credit, collateral, cash flow, things look great, 1 of the 3, 2 of the 3, or all 3. And we'll look at those and probably combining them. Yeah. How long have you been with Bank of America? I'm sure you have a strong relationship with them. You've been depositing frequently into the accounts, holding enough in the accounts. Lines of credits right now are, and it could be industry specific. It could be the market changes. But more so the debt, they're trying to relieve themselves of having more capital debt and capital gains and stuff like this. So they're lowering their debt, inflation, the economy. There's a lot of factors. But yes, they're issuing less lines of credit, but for $700,000, it seems like you shouldn't have a problem getting one. It's just the interest. But what I tell business owners, and I can ask you, what is the interest rate on it if you're open to saying that? Then I can classify better. But without knowing that, it's fine. It's just, of course, it's harder to get a bank line of credit, any kind of bank funding outside of business, personal credit cards, etc. It's become more difficult and getting the amount you want. So with private fintech company lenders, that's relatively low, to be honest with you. When you consider for how long you may have that line of credit. But in this world, with fintech lenders, private lenders as an alternative to a line of credit, traditionally from a bank loan, you usually get 1 to 3% interest per month. And so just think about that. But it's not necessarily for how much. Was it the cap? Oh, and that's for the interest, 5.5. I was thinking terms for some reason. Yes. And that's relatively low. Like, that's not something I'm sure you would complain about. When bank... Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you are a fundable client with the banks. And that's where you will always want to start. I'm not going to start speaking about how you should come to me. And what I say, though, I have an insurance entrepreneur, like big. And like shark big. And he and I have had conversations over the phone, text messages, great communication, personally, business relationship. Good. It's there. And so what I said to him is he has different entities for real estate, property investments, property management, and he is opening up more LLCs. And so I recommended him to get lines of credit. We can try to get one for overall, but we would have to use his existing business. Now, the lender would be okay with him using it for whatever he needed to for a line of credit specifically for those real estate investments. And it would help business credit, etc., how the debt shows on business, etc. But he had no other way but to apply separately for each and every one of them. So he has to go down that route because he wasn't going to get as much elsewhere. He wasn't going to get an SBA loan. It wasn't going to work too well. For what he wanted, it wouldn't make sense. He was having all these demands of personal guarantee, this and that. And when you get a person like that, it becomes a bit harder to work with. But it's not to say it wouldn't. When people start asking for their own demands, like when people go, well, we can get a $500,000 amount, not you, but we can get a $500,000 loan, but I don't want to start the payments until next month. Literally, I've had people like that. Yeah, I want to get $500,000. I'll go for that, but here's my contingency. Let's send this money to my Navy Federal. Let's say I'm transitioning. No, you applied with this business. Once it gets into your business checking account, then we can move it over. I'm sure you know about moving money. I have multiple business checking accounts and how I split my different like cash flow, profits, how I'm looking at everything. But yes, I would begin with the bank. 9.5, still low. Considering that even at an SBA loan level, like this is not SBA, but with cap lines and stuff like that, you get 7.75% prime rates plus 2.75 from 350 to 5 million or 250 or sometimes 200 usually to 5 million, depends on that lender. So 7.75 plus 2.75 are from a minimum of 2 to 3%. So most people get 2.75 on those. If it's lower amounts, now we're reaching past 2.75 into the 3.75%. So you're getting into the early teens, even with SBA loans. So at a 9.5, 7.5, plus about a point into 7.5, 2 points and above, that's relatively low. That's factor rate interest. So that's a good thing. That's not bad at all. On a business line of credit of $700,000, like I get it. You're looking at the APR. You're looking at everything. I could care less about that. What I care about is how I use that money. I could care less if it's 9, 11, 4.5. I could give a damn about that. What I care about is how I use the money. So my question to you is, how will you be using that money? That's my question. Is it just to bridge cash flow? Is it for emergency funds? You didn't get enough emergency funds, so you're adding another 500,000, 1.2 million. So it just depends per business owner. But to have a line of credit sitting there and not ever being used, these are the reasons why the banks will pull that line of credit. I've had a friend recently, and through other people who had 300,000, 200,000 pulled away like that because they didn't use it or withdraw from at least once a year, once every 6 months, or however much they were wanting with that lender or with that bank. So we can add a line of credit to your bank. So we can add a position there. We can even add multiple positions with these fintech lenders, and I have the best. You cannot just say, I'm going to go apply here. I'm going to go apply. That doesn't work. This is why there's an umbrella, and I vetted the best, and I already have those relationships with them. But because we need to do it this way, pull from one, nope, that's not the one. This one's willing to come in more and give you more. This one was going to give you 70. This one wants to give you 90,000. Better terms, a little bit better. And then rates, okay, we can work with that. Great. But it just depends on the use of those funds. But I know what you're adding to. You're adding that 9% or so to that 5.5, and then you're adding an overall total. I mean, you could look at it like total personal business credit cards, but you disassociate the business line of credit from the term loan because those are two different products and services. A lump sum versus withdraw and use the funds as I choose, and I go as I carry on. Good question. I will abbreviate. Thank you, Tay. And first of all, I like that you said, how can I get a cash advance? What that tells me is that you know. Have you received one in the past? Do you have a position? How many positions? Because it can be trickier when you do have more and you're looking at reverse debt consolidation. You're looking at adding more debt and clearing debt and adding more debt after that. It becomes trickier. Consolidating it underneath an SBA or a personal loan, debt consolidation, credit cards, etc. But what I recommend, Tay, and everybody else in here, and I have the best lenders for this, best underwriters, transparency, experience. Definitely, I've been in your guys' position. I have the versatility for this, the flexibility, and a lot of this is loyalty. Loyalty is number one to me. If you're willing to be patient with me and not be like, I'm going to go apply here and I'm going to go apply there, we're getting you what's best. And we can pull from a couple lenders by protecting your credit as well. There's direct lenders I have, indirect. I already have those direct lenders already partnered with. But it's better to do it in this in-house look. And so we'll go 1 here, 2 here. Let's look at 3. This one comes in. Boom. You got better. The example of somebody getting $95,000 as opposed to if it were somebody else, they would have only received $15,000 and we still had to drop her offer down because she took another offer. Shouldn't have done that. So bio, link click, or site viralfundingsolutions.com, and then you'll want to go to the apply now. I'm going to probably change it to, I might not change it today. I'm busy. I'm really busy. I got to go back to questionnaires. Should have been done earlier. But site viralfundingsolutions.com. There's probably a navigation that says apply now, although it's a pre-qualification questionnaire. Well, I will show you through the eyes of the underwriters on what they're looking for. Market changes, you should know this stuff. So you're not having to just apply anywhere and everywhere. You're not applying blindly. Well, I wanted this. They were a past vendor or a lender of mine. I should have received. No, nobody educated you on what to do. Now you just acquired another inquiry, whether it's a soft pull or not. Like, you shouldn't have done that. I hope you learn going forward that it's not just, these companies, if I go type in right now, let me be honest, and I did this yesterday just to see if Google AdWords, how it would work with me, and I've done this before in the past, but I don't use PPC bidding on these. But let's say if I were to go in and type in merchant cash advance, and I have a cash advance hybrid that's least expensive, so generally 50% least expensive, depends on the case. But it isn't just on credit card statements, which I'm sure you have, and you're probably looking for that. But we do overall total revenue, and approvals are great, and the payment structure is much better than a percentage of fluctuations or if it's not fluctuating. But look, I just typed in merchant cash advance here into Google, and I'm an SEO, guys. I know how all of this works. I know what catches your guys' attention. I know what doesn't. Right here, I'm not going to say the name of the company. Merchant cash advance, 25K to 6 million business financing. Nope, I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't take anybody there. It might be a solution. It wouldn't be where I would go, first of all. That's not a direct lender. Okay, it's fine, but who do they have? I know a lot of these, it's not in your best interest to look for them. The partnerships that I have, my internal team, that's not what I would do, first of all. This one, need a cash advance, a better way to advance cash. Not too familiar with how they do things. They're much newer from what I've seen, but there's another one. Now this one, same day approval available, up to 1 million next day funded. Okay, and I've looked through these, and that's an affiliate or a referral that's associated with this company that I won't name. But it's not that simple, guys. It's not that easy to just go and apply. I'm not going to say the name of them. You guys know who they are, probably. I don't work with them. I don't work with this one. I don't work with that one. And I know how they work. They bait and switch. Or if they don't bait and switch, the relationship isn't, it's not concrete. And I've had people who come to me, literally, and they go, Michael, I wanted funding through you, but I found out that another broker had rights to a specific lender, and I couldn't do anything about that. And I told them, it's okay. And we've established that he needs credit-based financing. So he's going to come back after he gets all this cleared, charge-offs, etc. He's going to come back to me. And so we've established something where he's like, Michael, you've helped me personally, business. I don't care about that other person, really. Who's this other, and I asked him, do you know anything about? No. I was like, just send me contracts. And do you guys really want that? That's my question. I'm not going to talk down you guys or anything, or if I don't want to be too open because I'm an introvert, it happens at times. But be careful of these. So I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to find even more of them. Sponsored. Same day funding. Best rates. Commission advance. Now I wouldn't, that's too generic of a headline. Get your real estate commission advance. Approval based on your sell activity. See, now that's already confused people. Apply in minutes. Enjoy our low fees and fast commission approval process. Price catch guarantee. It's a little bit better. Apply online in minutes. Services agents, age advances. Okay, so it's a little bit better. It's got work to do though. So bio, site, questionnaire, fill that out. Select from one of the two options that apply to you, and then I will be able to email your response back. Sorry if I didn't say that. I'll evaluate, analyze, and give you a proper response back via email on your best funding option and options. It's thoroughly through me, and I'm going to be helping you guys out. So I see one done here about 7 minutes ago. I won't say your name, but appreciate you if it was you. Thank you for submitting that. You are welcome. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let me say this out loud just for people to get the nature of this. I have a business credit, or I have business credit established with, which is pretty cool, by the way. Good job on that. With 3 years in business. Good there too. Above 2 years. And 1.5 million in annual revenue. Great. Okay, I've worked with cash flowing, high revenue generating, high profitable businesses as well. Those are all different things. But yeah, if this is something you want help with, I've helped out businesses who are generating hundreds upon millions a year, billions, literally. Nothing, 100,000, 50,000, and so forth. But what are you looking for to use your fund towards? If you are for anything, or if you're just sharing that. Got it. Money to take advantage of low-cost inventory. Got it, yeah. I've helped out a lot of people in inventory spaces. It's so different for each and every company. It's crazy. You can even have somebody in the e-commerce space doing it one way versus another way. Adding new products, same old products, shipping costs too high. What they get paid, they got to pay back 50% to someone else. Oh man, it's a lot of disruption. But yes, if you need money to take advantage of low-cost inventory, it's something that I can help with. I can get more details on that as well. But yeah, I spoke about it more or less. Those of you who are joining, I already spoke about what I needed to today. Maybe rewatch it later on YouTube. It's a long video. I know some of you guys won't watch the replay all the way through. Might leave timestamps if I can, but if I decide to as well. But yeah, this is something that I'm willing to help with. I've done a lot of inventory. We can even do, if you had any kind of inventory to give up to get an inventory line of credit, account receivable line of credit, we don't have to go down the collateral route. We could just do strictly revenue based. Or if you find a need where, hey, I can get business credit cards at 0% if I have my credit right, this is what I'll do. And then I'm going to add a business line of credit if I can. Or I can add a term loan instead, or an advance. This is what I'll do. Understood, yeah, on that 1.5 or so. But you have short personal credit, age. Okay, it could be a bit of a concern, more for credit-based lenders than non-credit-based. So for a credit-based lender, for short personal credit age, and I've seen these things too pop up. There's more to it I can ask questions on, but we're not going to get into all the personal stuff there. Your options, they're not limited. Revenue or collateral-based. You can also do credit-based. You might not get a max as you want, but you can use your business bank statements as leverage. If we ask for a tax return, we will, depending on how much you're asking for and what you can get approved for. Later on, 100 or above 150,000 usually. Year-to-date financials, AR/AP report if necessary. But at that point, I would look at doing revenue-based financing. If you don't want to offer up any kind of collateral on your 1.5 million in annual revenue, more or less I already understand the breakdown, reverse engineering the annual down to gross monthly revenue, profitability, net profitability, those are other things. But your profit margins, you know that. But yeah, I would look at revenue-based. For sure. If you can leverage it, if you're not over leveraged already enough, depends on how much you need as well. If we have to start somewhere, we'll have to start somewhere. Good question. Don't need to be sorry. Appreciate you. Thank you, Holly. No need for an now. Everybody should have an LLC, S Corp, C Corp. LLCs, more advantages. I'm not going to get into all these things, tax, etc. But you can just be a 1099 independent contractor, sole proprietor, 1040, or a few other parts of it. But yeah, that's fine for the majority. Now, business credit cards and that, I mean, there's a huge advantage to having an LLC. For inventory and emergency, yeah. I actually had a client the same, but for low cost, other one had high costs. But yeah, for emergency funds, definitely I can help with that. You might need a line of credit. You might need, usually it's a line of credit for emergency. But a lot of the times it's like working capital. And when people look for emergency funds, they want to extend their term. They want to keep it beyond 2 years. They want to do 3 and above, up to 10 years, if not more. But is it something that you can even get? So you have to think about, for how long do you need emergency funds? Do you have like, I need a 6 month, maybe they're going through a downturn, or you're going to go uphill soon, but you just have to be more prepared. Something's eating up into your cash flow reserves. There's a lot of questions that can be answered. Got it. Even for less than 2 years, it's fine. I know that the majority would prefer over 2 years, strong credit age history, multiple accounts, multiple trade lines. So if you don't have at least 5 trade lines, thick trade lines, it'll make it harder. Got it, around 50,000. So let me move up here to just make sure. Yeah, even at that amount, yeah, I knew that's what it was. Just wanted to verify again. Yeah, if you just, do you have other advances is my question. Do you have other like loans in place? Okay, that's a big step-by-step question on how do I form an LLC. Like I can get into that so many different ways. Whether you file something online or you do it more manually, a different approach. I'm not going to get into all the steps right now in this video. As well as we're nearing towards the end, and we're going to keep it on track with other questions. I could do that another time. I actually have content that I've created on this. But have you done your homework on it? How much do you know? Or are you leaning towards something, or are you just like fresh? Because the reason I ask is so I know like what you have and haven't done and what you could potentially keep going towards. But many ways, I'm not going to start naming companies out there, how they can file on your behalf or do it this way and that way. Or you need somebody else to manually do it and help you do it. But there are different services and providers for that, different costs associated with all of that, different plans for all of it, family members, different, there's just so many. I'm not going to start naming all of them, but there are advantages to each. Right, a line of credit, yeah, as I was alluding to, and a term loan for emergency and inventory. Yeah, that's a great point. I've done this recently with somebody who didn't need money for inventory and emergency. It's kind of a coincidence. But if you do need this, it's something that I'm willing to help with. And the details have to align right, and they have to make sense. And of course, the revenue, but usually you get approved between 75 to 200%, 1 to 2 times if it's 5,000 and above. Usually 15,000 and above, you can get closer to 200%. But fluctuations, amount of deposits per month. Here's a quick tip, guys. If you're a business owner in a business who doesn't deposit already enough or doesn't deposit frequently, you got to look at that and ask yourself, I deposit once at the end of the week. How is it that I can deposit every single day or every other day? Can you do that? Can you? If you can't, okay. Now, if I deposit at the end of a week, how many times do I deposit? Bi-week? Monthly. So for those kind of businesses, justifying getting like a cash advance, whether it's a merchant cash advance or it's a hybrid, makes it more difficult. Because you may also be fluctuating. It might be stagnant. You might know your patterns. It's consistent, but it's still not enough to say, hey, if I'm getting deducted $79 to $300 a day or whatever it is, can I afford that? We won't give you something you can't. It has to make sense with your sales, your revenue being generated, how much do you deposit. We're never going to over leverage you. But you have to understand as a business owner, if I have to take caution and say, I got to step back and I wanted 50,000, I got approved for 50,000. But let's actually, can I start off with at least 35,000 because I want to lower my repayment. I was only given 6 months. I feel more comfortable taking this payment on because of cash flow, or I'm taking it on because in the next 2 months, I might have a disruption. So I need to be prepared. I'll probably pay those funds off within 2 months, and then I'll get the rest of the amount. That's how you guys have to think about it. Sometimes, not always. You are welcome. Oh, are you? Yeah, there's a step-by-step process. To gather more information on this, I can help. I even have a business credit building video series that goes along with this. So I believe, I still have it in the bio. I created the videos for all of this. But I'll navigate you and my sources and how I recommend doing things. But there's a business credits building video series in my link tree. I'm looking at it right now. Let me see. There it is. Yeah, that's the very bottom one. I moved the grant one option so I can move this one for a little bit. Does anybody else have any questions? Excuse me. If I did miss anybody, I apologize. The comments are kind of coming up, and I try to scroll up. All right, 30 more seconds. Okay. Good question. Appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. I had a guy on the call the other day. This is my your content is good. So appreciated. Thank you. Not that they had to say that, but I appreciate the love. And how much are my charges, and are they different? Okay. I answered this earlier. I know you probably weren't here. It's fine. But it varies per service. I don't charge an upfront fee and application costs. No hidden costs. That's dumb. That's dumb. The reason people do that too is because they know they can't get a deal to go through offer and then somebody taking funding. Like, the chances of that become much slimmer. It's just the odds. And so it depends on the service. So 0% to 5% origination fees, revenue-based funding, cash advance, term loan options. Just depends on the lender. Like, I've had people who go with like a 2.25% or 2.5% up to 4.5 or if not 5%, depending on the risk portfolio on that lender. But that's over the total amount that you get approved for. 100,000, probably get 95,000 in total. It's fine. We can probably negotiate that. I've had it with certain business owners where we dropped it down for like 4.5 to 2.5. They were more comfortable having a little bit more pocket room, but it's not given to everybody. Personal/startup loans, you see about 15%, if not 12%, if we drop it, origination fee or success fee, depending on how much in the total amount of line of credit or term loans or whatever we're doing. But it's high because you're working with experts, period. Banks, try, okay, how much do they give you? If they were to give you approved for a personal term loan or something similar, let's say they got you 20,000, over here we're going to get you 50 to 100,000. We can get you more. And I know the people that can do it. I know certain personal term loan lenders. I know this one. I go, that's the one I want for them. That's the best one. And I know that is. Over here, you're like just trying to apply to SoFi or whoever you're trying to apply to. I'm not just saying one person or one entity. But you're like not seeing it from how I see it and how I can communicate with each and every one of them. When you don't see that, you're deriving from it. It's like, this is why people come back to me later on and they go, oh, Michael, I took a loan with them and I wish I would have learned about your content before. And I'm appreciative of you guys each and every day, literally, because you guys are able to share that content. If you guys have, like, people were in here earlier saying, Michael, I have clients, how can I send them over? I'm more than happy to. It's not about the payout. I get another chance to make an impact on somebody's business, on somebody's life personally. I don't just say business, in their life personally. Because they're going to get to learn. And they're going to know. And we're going to do it in a more effective, timely manner, in the right ecosystem. But yes, I don't charge that. It just depends on the lender. Depends on the service, really. Closing costs, post-closing liquidity, all these different things. And there's even good faith deposits with, like, not all SBA loan lenders, but certain ones that I've worked with. And some of them have taken them away if you're looking for a specific amount. But there's a good faith deposit on these term sheets that we get people. And they might ask you for a $2,500 deposit or so, just to make sure that you are committed. And that's common. You're going to see good faith deposits just about everywhere. And that's just saying, hey, the likeliness of you getting this is much higher. It's not a guaranteed 100%, but it's way higher than 50, 75% and above. And it's saying if we were able to get you a term sheet approval, and I can go over this with you, and I'll say, hey, here's the offer. I'm very transparent with you guys. You guys don't even need a call from me. Like, literally, if I send you an email, you're going to be rest assured, like, yeah, he's got me. Like, got you in a very, very good way. Not like those people that go, I got you. I got you. I'll take care of you. Just please, I beg of you. Like, I'm not really begging, but just please show up. Like, I put energy and time to help personally and in business, and it's like, I know you probably got busy or did things, and I won't follow up like crazy or anything like that, but I'm just doing my part. I need to make sure. Like, how do I know if I don't know? Like, how can I just assume? Okay. Are you saying per person as in per charges per person, or what exactly? Let me move up here. Amir, good question. So I don't just give anybody the time and place to give me a call, even if I just shared with you my number in private, etc. I don't do things traditionally. Those of you in here who are watching probably understand now. And until you see it, you'll fully understand why I don't do it that way. And people don't get put off. Certain ones do, but when you learn and you see my content and you really realize why I do it that way, I'm not a traditional financing person where, hey, I'm just happy enough to pick up a call at any time. You know how many times I've had people who are just still trying to call me and they could have just started it and finished something in less than 2 minutes where they wanted 3 multiple calls? Like, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy for you. And if you don't want that, or if you don't like that, then I'm not for you. I'm an introvert, and I'm the guy at the, think about it, I'm the guy on the back end, like they say a silent partner, who's doing the work, who's system engineering, who's iterating, who's doing all the back product development and doing things like that. I love that kind of stuff. I love the systems, the operations, but I like working from a back end and saying, hey, we have to iterate and move the system. I work with businesses, and when I was in a 9-to-5 employee, and I was doing a lot of that, I was meeting with the owners regularly. They got my confidence. They understood that I saw things that they couldn't see, and I was improving and being more effective in certain operations. Did I always have that? No. But what I recommend, Amir, and everybody else, and this is not to put you off, right? And this isn't only because I say I'm an introvert that I would not like to get on calls, and I prefer not to. I do well on them, but it's like I wouldn't want to, at least initially. So I have people submit my questionnaire on my site. So the questionnaire, bio, link click, or viralfundingsolutions.com. Go through there. 3 steps on how it works. Button underneath. Click, fill out the submission details, evaluate, analyze, give you a proper response back via email. Those are when you get your offer. Not just when you get an offer presented and you say I approve of them. It's when it goes through final underwriting, final closing, and you get your funding, and we say, okay, or we already gave you the expectation of what it would be. So yes, you're on the right track. Usually that's how it works. Good question. This goes for everybody. Do you have any fixed costs for your time, even if I don't get a loan? Whether it were fixed or variable, I don't charge anybody, and I could be charging people, but I don't, like, there's differences, right? There's a value ladder where I have an entrance point, then I have a medium service product, and then I can have a higher ticket back-end product, but I'm not doing that right now. And I don't want to charge people for this. It's not like all of it can be found online. I go deep into not just only with your revenue, net profitability, cash flow, and more things you can look at and say, this is what we should fix, myself and my internal team. And we go, okay, this is our plan. But I'm not going to start doing that. Not because I wouldn't want to get to learn about someone. That's not what it is, guys. Not what it is at all. Nothing against you. It's more about how can I do it more effectively? And even if that means somebody who was like, well, he didn't want to get on a call with me. Well, you didn't want to look at the questionnaire I sent you. Or I saw you looked at it, but what did you do? You didn't do nothing. You didn't even email me back. You didn't even say nothing. I followed up. Like, that's your character. That's your character who gets in the way. And so by that point, then maybe a call. But if you do it correctly, then you'll know. Appreciate you. Thank you for the follow. So we're not going to play that game where, oh, I should have got a call. And what do you mean you should have got a call? You should have conformed. Like, in this direction, you got to conform a lot to what's happening over here. We can't always do 50-50. It has to be 80-20, 90-10. And you're going to find out how efficient this is. Does anybody... Oh. Excuse me. In the beginning, I spoke about why I would leave this industry. And it's because of people. Not everybody, but certain people are like... Yeah. Certain people can be nasty. Certain people can be... I get it. You're stressed. You're probably working your business, etc. But there's no need for that. And I'm trying to help in more ways than one. Certain people just leave things unseen or leave me unseen. And I'm like, what did I do to deserve that? I'm like already hesitating to reach out to them. I don't want to be that person. I really don't. I can just go work my lead generation business. I can go work my digital marketing agency if I just wanted to focus on that, my affiliate marketing businesses with passive income. I could just focus on that more and not have to help you guys. But I know this industry very well because I'm in it. It's just, there's other people who are the hoorah people, and I have people like that who I see just through them. Not necessarily do I dislike them. Others I do dislike. But others I can just see and somewhat give them the benefit of the doubt. To other people, they're perceived to be like this top person, but I see just through people. I'm like, dude, that guy's just the motivation guy. That guy probably doesn't even know what it's like to be in the field. He doesn't understand this. So when I bring up something in a group sometimes with certain people, they're sensitive to that. They only want to hear the, oh, we invited this person into the group, or hey, we got a funding today. And nobody ever wants to hear about the good, the bad, and the ugly all in one. And that's what I do in some of these posts. I share it with people like, why would I ever leave this industry? Why does it make it hard for you to do? People need to understand what's difficult so they can either mitigate those same mistakes that I made or perhaps others have made. But a lot of people go, those don't get the interaction that they want because those are the people who are maybe not there yet, or just maybe they didn't see it, or just they want all the hoorah. They don't want everything else that comes with it. My email, I'll give you it, or you can give me your email. But it is my first name, Michael, at viralfundingsolutions.com. And then what I'll do is I'll send you an email on this questionnaire. And once I see that questionnaire submitted, that's when I'll know more. And I know some people are subjective to filling out information, but it's very safe and secure. And the thing is, I get to analyze, evaluate it, and see if this is something workable. Even if it isn't workable, like I could determine how much energy and time this would take. And I know based upon that and based upon what other projects I have to finish up on. So I'm not your everyday, like, call a person and speak with them. And that's not how it works always. That's not how, if I were giving everybody access to that, guess what? Everybody would be doing it. You're a business owner. I mean, you should know that too. That even if it's finances related and stuff, I get it. But you should know that to get access to you, there has to be multiple hurdles at times. You cannot just be open to everybody at any second. You can't just leave your door open. And without knowing something, it's like, if I have nothing to work with and I haven't submitted your question or email back with your best funding option and options, which I'll do, if I don't even know that, like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to feel about this? Like, now we spent 30 minutes on a call. I got to know you better. I love that. Great. Yes, I got to know you, Amir. Cool, I love that. I don't ever take that for granted. But the thing is, I cannot be doing that. This will turn into a whole nother 9 to 5. And the point is to have the right processes, systems, and automation. So I won't give you a number right now, and I won't throw a number out in the email. And I know if you may be put off by that, it's okay. I mean, for me, it doesn't really, like, I would use the word bother because I've become thick-skinned, and I know that when people want access to me, you have to first show me what you're willing to do. You have to show me a micro commitment, and it's not always a phone call. Did you happen to get my email, or would you like me to take yours down? Some people are in here like, whew, this guy really takes this stuff serious, doesn't it? What do you mean? How many of you in here are punctual? How many of you in here are disciplined? How many of you understand that? And there's people out there like who go, you gotta be in this industry hammering the phone. Like, shut up. Typical salesperson. You gotta be on the phone hammering and calling people. And, but what if you don't? What if you do things the way that I do them? What if you saw things for a different change? See, I'm more than what you see. I'm not just a business loan broker. I go deeper, and you'll see that. You're disciplined and punctual? Nice. Happy to hear it. There's one person. I know many of you are too. You don't have to say it. But people just use the word punctual and disciplined like it's just thrown around. How many of you actually can do the work day in and day out? The repetition of something that's boring, do it over and over and over and over and over, even without seeing results or with results. But you know it's so damn boring, but you're willing to do it. Wake up, go through your health routine, go through your yoga, go through your meditation. I do all of that. I exercise on whatever day I need to in the morning or afternoon, weights, sometimes lower weights. Get ready for my day. Mind stimulated, ready to go. It's open. Boom. Get what I need to get done with. Fill out some questionnaires and market some material. Put some things up here. Put some points on the board there. You guys think I'm actually like getting to my desk and immediately like giving people phone calls? Unless it's most urgent and we're further in the process. My lender called me, or my underwriter, or I have a email from them that I need to respond back to. Like it's time sensitive. Boom, it needs to be done. With a specific client, it has to be done. But I won't sacrifice my reading time. I'm not going to sacrifice my health time just so I can help somebody like that, unless it's very, very urgent. People call me from the East Coast. Think I'm going to be up. I used to wake up like at 4 all the time. Now I wake up closer to 6 or 7. Now sometimes a little bit later depending on that day. But I'm not going to be up at 6 just because somebody's up at 9 all the time over there, unless it's very urgent. I'm on the Pacific Standard Time, so I'm not going to be here, and I've learned my lessons. Like, those people also don't even follow through. Like, oh, I woke up at 6. I over-delivered, but it's like, what happened as a result? Other ones, they do go. And it's like, okay, worked, fine, but I'm not going to be doing that every time. Lenders contacting me, it's 4 in the morning on my time, and it's 7 o'clock on theirs. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't get to it until 7 o'clock. Now it's 10 o'clock their time. I have to reach a lender. This lender's on the East Coast or wherever they are, Mountain Standard Time. And I'm like, literally, like, I got to make sure I send everything that I need to and certain people before 12 o'clock because it's already 3 o'clock over there. So these are the things that I'm very aware of. And I have to make sure because something came up. It's 3 o'clock here, but it's 6 o'clock over there. You know what, that 1 hour, if I were to have access to that lender right away because they're not on the East Coast, that would have made the biggest difference. Because of an answer that I would like to have right away, they could have given me. But because they were out of office, this is why I don't like that whole East Coast, West Coast in this area. And New Yorkers are very notorious for this space. I'm not saying New Yorkers are bad people at all. I'm saying that where it originates a lot of, in Florida, New York, and this whole, I have a thick skin, dark, tough attitude, and presenting like the best built and hairdo and slick back communicating person, and that's not what I am. And I've had people I've helped out and I see the differences and I go, not bad people, not saying that, but it's just, yeah, you could tell who's who. Tell by the way that they say things, by the way they don't say them. 30 more seconds. Does anybody have anything? I can assume you wouldn't like me to give you my email, or you wouldn't. I would assume that you wouldn't want to share yours. Fifteen more seconds, guys. Say something now, guys, or forever hold your peace. I may reset the time to 15 to 30 seconds, if you do. And it's like a question, comment. Or question, more so. I think that'll be it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you for watching me today on a Saturday. I don't really take this amount of time to. I'm doing other things. If you did find value, please give it a thumbs up. You did share it. Great. Appreciate you. And if you haven't, it's okay. Usually don't bring it up. Maybe it doesn't have to be said as well. And if you're watching this later on the replay on YouTube or elsewhere, please subscribe, or here on TikTok or Instagram, wherever you're watching from later on or now. And click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future content. Questionnaire, bio, description. Get started if you haven't. If you have, I'll get back to you if you have received that. You should know that, or I'll probably remind you. But that is everything from me. Appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care. Bye.